rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the #1 Chief Rocket in Knicks Universe, your main man's Uncle Freezy. Welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly, right? All right, man. I see y'all. What's good, party people in the place to be? What's good? Welcome. Astro is in the house. Okay. Core Mega is in the house. All right, Molly Mall is in the house. DSJ is in the house. Don Pete is in the house. David L is in the house. JJ is in the house. Dripmore is in the house. Mr. Atkins is in the house. Okay. Man, I see y'all. I see y'all out here, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me, man. I guess I'm going to say the same thing that I normally say. I have a bunch of stuff that I want to talk to y'all about. I'm going to try to get to it all, right? I got a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk to y'all about, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Where is it? I think this is it. Okay. This is it. Right? Y'all ready to get this thing started, right? Y'all ready to get this thing started? Yeah, man. Jackal, what's good, man? DG, what's good? Corey Lee is in the building. What's good, Corey Lee? What's good, Lee? What's happening? Don't know where Lee been at, but he must be somewhere counting money. But that's his business. Almighty Finesse is in the building. I see you. Almighty Finesse. Almighty Finesse is that dude. Almighty Finesse is my guy. I be going in other chats and stuff. I see Almighty Finesse, and he be representing to the fullest. Almighty Finesse is straight up like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, the Knicks are the best. Y'all team is whack. Yeah, man. Almighty Finesse in the building. Bronx Mel is in the building. Nick G. What's good, Nick G? All right. So I want to get straight to the topic. Now, Lee, I know. I'm messing with you, Lee. I'm messing with you, Lee. I know. I'm just messing around. So I want to get right to a specific topic. I first want to voice frustration, and then speak to why we're frustrated, if that makes sense. There we go. There we go. The lighting is better. Yeah, the lighting is better. So let me address like the lighting. The lighting kind of messes me up a lot. So I have a light right here. Y'all can't see it, man. It's like right off of the thing. I'm gonna face it the other way. Screw that. All right. So my thing is this. The draft came and went. I felt like as an organization, we were not prepared. I felt like as an organization, we were not prepared to take advantage of the moment. Right? If this was a regular NBA draft, I would have been like, I'm okay with what the Knicks are doing. Right? But in the deepest draft in years, no, I'm not okay. I understand the strategy. I don't think the Knicks draft strategy was apropos for the moment. Right? Justo is in the house. This light is killing me, bro. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm still a little dark, man, but whatever. So in the deepest draft in years, man, I don't think you can take the stance of in the deepest draft in years, I don't think you can take the stance of we're good with what we have. We're not gonna go out here and participate in the draft because of blah, blah, blah. I think it's the steps that bad organizations take. And I'm not saying that we are a bad organization by any means, but I'm saying that move is a move that bad organizations take. All right, Mr. Atkins became a member. I think that he became a member again. I think he became a member again. Right? I think he became a member again. But thank you for becoming a member. And if you like content like this and then you want to support the channel, you feel like, you know what I'm saying, we're making that move, man, become a member of the channel. We'll try to do better with the member stuff. So by not participating in the draft, I think it's a huge, you hear me? I think it's a huge mistake by the Knicks. For multiple reasons, right? For multiple reasons. The Last Laugh podcast is in the building. I think they had made a huge mistake by not getting young talent out of this draft. By trading the pick by trading the pick for Josh Hart, I think it signals that there is a quick fix. Right? Like a quick fix can help us get to the next level. I felt like that at the trade deadline when it happened. I was thinking, oh no, you can't trade away draft picks in this draft. And I think JJ agrees. JJ says the Mavs tanking hurt us big time. Right? But you know what, though? JJ, you know why the Mavs tanked instead of going for it? Because this draft that just passed was a once every 20 years type draft. This was a once in every 20 years type draft. And for the Knicks not to participate was a boneheaded move. And I understand, and listen, I understand that the Knicks are confident in the young core. And I am as well. I'm confident in this young core. But you know what makes a young core great? Adding young talent to it. And if you can't add young, high-end talent to your roster, you know what you're really doing? Just without nothing. Right? And if you look at our young core, for an example, if you look at our young core and assume that we could not improve our young core by, and I'm just going to say some names. If you think the Knicks could not have improved their young core by adding a Victor Wembanyama, a Brandon Miller, a Scoot Henderson, and a Men Thompson, and a Sar Thompson, a Anthony Black, a Jarris Walker, Cam Whitmore, Grady Dick, Derek Lively, you are bananas. BANANAS. If you look at this young core that we have and think the addition of a Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, Brandon Miller, Amen Thompson, a Sor Thompson, a Cam Whitmore, a Grady Dick, a Derek Lively, Bilal Coulibaly could not have improved or is even better than what we already have, you are bananas. Stafford Don is in the building. Stafford Don is in the house. The thing about improvement is if you're in a mindset that you are going to improve, if you're going to improve, then you can't stay pat. If you're looking to improve, then you can't just say, You can't just say, I'm gonna improve on such and such way. I'm gonna carve out my own road of improvement. No. When the whole league is together, that's when you have to look at making moves. That's when you have to consider making moves. When the opportunity is there. And since the draft has come and gone, I don't want to harp on it. Of course, of course, you know, the Knicks get an F grade for the draft because they didn't participate, right? Of course. Of course, they get an F in the draft because they didn't participate, right? It's one of those things where it is what it is. I'm not bashing the front office for I'm not calling them totally inept. I'm just saying that this one thing they did, they could have done better. I'm not going to go crazy and say, oh, the front office sucks. I ain't going to say that. I'm not going to go all, you know what I'm saying, go all Tupac on it. I'm not going to go all Bishop on this moment, but what I will say is the draft could have been handled better. I think that a lot of that has to do with Scott Perry not being there. So now that is out of the way, let me explain something to Knicks fans and to basketball fans, NBA fans. Everybody like rocking. I just want to explain a certain thing, right? Bully is in the house. Okay. Yo, y'all crazy, man. I see y'all out here. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny how y'all laugh and joke with each other all the time, man. I think that's so dope. I think that's so dope how y'all interact with each other and rock with each other and have gotten to a place where we can laugh and joke with each other. I think that's dope. Justo11, thank you for the generous contribution. Justo says, could have traded Josh Hart to get the same type of player on a rookie contract and higher upside. The Knicks front office must have had the phone line cut off. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the generous contribution. What I'm gonna say. What I'm gonna say is this though. My belief is that the organization has faith in one of these kids breaking out. I think the organization has faith in one of these kids breaking out, and I don't think it is who you think it is. I think the organization has faith that one of the kids that was held out of most of the trades, one of the kids that's often injured, that is impactful on arrival, is going to break out and be their star. He is going to be their star, and they're going to put the battery in his back to be that. They showcased They showcased a clutch client and Cam Reddish. And while he looked great in spurts, he does not look great all the time. That has always been his knock. Does he have a motor? Does he have a motor? If you look at the connective network of things that happen in Knicks universe, all the roads always lead back to one guy. Right? And if you think I'm talking about RJ Barrett, you're close, but no cigar in this case. Because RJ Barrett is a good young player. And RJ Barrett's development is frustrating at times, but RJ is getting better and better and better. Now, can RJ Barrett make you mad? Yes. RJ Barrett legit made me go outside one time, like legit, to see RJ Barrett's progression or lack thereof at times. Legit made me go outside and scream to the top of my lungs. My neighbor came out and was like, "Hey, man, I thought you was getting attacked." Yes, neighbor. I was getting attacked by the lack of RJ Barrett's jump shot. Right? But it's not RJ Barrett. Right? And it's not Immanuel Quickley. Immanuel Quickley, no lie. No lie. Immanuel Quickley is a good young player. Right? Immanuel Quickley is a good young player. Right? But I think the NBA is forcing the Knicks to recognize how good Quickley is. I don't think the Knicks see how good Quickley is. Because our organization is old school. Right? Our organization is an old school organization that does stuff the old school way. Now, am I saying it's the right way? Is it the correct way? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying that I agree with their stance. I'm just calling it what it is. Yeah. Yeah, DSJ out. Bro. Yeah. What I'm getting at is the Knicks have a great young core. Is it always exciting to watch? No. But do they win? Yes. The thing I noticed about all the young cores around the league, they do flashy dunks and their crossovers are tremendous. And they have a bunch of really hyped young prospects. At the end of the day, do they win? No, they do not. when I look at the Orlando Magic and the Indiana Pacers and the Houston Rockets and all the Detroit Pistons, when I look at their young cores, I ask myself, do they win? No, they do not. Do they have a winning mentality? No, they do not. Does their organization have stability? For the most part, no, they do not. Right? It makes me think, like, if this is the case, if you guys want to win and you want to win with a young core, how do you not think the Knicks young core is at least comparable with the best? To me, when we start thinking about comparable young cores, Memphis, right? Excuse that. Memphis has a young core that seems to me to be dynamite. Right? I'm gonna put Memphis's roster up for everybody to see. Right? Just bear with me. Bear with me. Because I don't want to have an overhyped conversation. I don't want to waste your time on things that don't make sense. I want to put out here some stuff that makes sense so that you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm almost there, y'all. All right, I'm gonna try to pull this down. ESPN acts funky sometimes. Yeah, see, I scrolled it down at ESPN. Just ESPN. I scroll down on the page and ESPN still didn't. There it is. There it is. I gotta mute it too, because for some reason ESPN will play stuff. When you look at a young core, look at this. Look at this. So look at Memphis's young core, right? Memphis's young core, and I'm talking about basketball only. I'm not talking about off the court stuff or injuries or none of that stuff. I'm talking about pure on the court stuff, right? Ja Morant is their best player. Desmond Bane is a baller. Jaren Jackson is a baller. Dylan Brooks is a baller. The kid Brandon Clark is a baller. Saldana is They have a talented young core, right? But if I ask you, which young core would you rather have? You would probably say Memphis, right? Because they have a big that blocks shots and shoots threes. They have a point guard that can get to wherever he wants to on the floor. They have a wing player in Desmond Bane that's an emerging baller. And I'm going to say to you that I think the Knicks are comparable or maybe better. The Knicks are comparable or maybe better. Yeah. Yeah, I see what y'all saying about Dylan Brooks. Hey, y'all, don't sleep on Dylan. Dylan Brooks is a heck of a player. Dylan Brooks is a heck of a player. Just because he got outplayed by LeBron James doesn't mean he's a bad player. We're like people are laughing at Dylan Brooks because he got outplayed by LeBron James. I don't want Dylan Brooks. LeBron James embarrassed him. Really? LeBron James embarrassed him, huh? And that's why you shame Dylan Brooks. Okay. JJ, you gotta let me get to my point. JJ is reading my mind, right? JJ is reading my mind. Relax, JJ. I got you, bro. I promise you I'm going somewhere with this. I promise. I promise you. You gotta let me get there though. You gotta let me get there though. You gotta let me get there with it. I promise you. I'm gonna get there, bro. I promise you. Right? I just didn't want to come out and just say stuff. I want to explain these things in context. I want to explain these things in context so everybody will get what I'm saying. Sherwin is in the house. Sherwin, what's good, man? So ultimately, what I'm getting at is if you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, who I think are comparable to us, except we have the upper hand. Right? I like the New York Knicks roster right now over Memphis. And I have them all on the screen because I think our young core is just as good or better than Memphis. Sherwin said you was just trying to listen. You just trying to listen. What happened? What happened, big dog? Everything all right? So here's the thing. So I don't have the entire Memphis roster up, right? But the Energizer Bunny that is Brandon Clark, that is a very understated player, right? Brandon Clark brings energy off the bench, but in his energy, he actually does stuff with that energy. So it's not like lasers where it's energy just all over the place, right? It's focused. Right? It's focused. It's focused. Anthony D is in the house. Anthony D, all I'm going to say is Azuma Nelson. So when you look at the Memphis roster and you look at the Knicks roster, I wish I could put both on the screen at the same time. Right now, I can't figure out how to do it, but oh well. Just rock with me on it. What I'm going to say to you guys is, though Memphis has Ja Morant and Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson and Dylan Brooks and Brandon Clark and Saldama and Xavier whatever, Xavier Williams, I think his name is. I think our young core overall, not individual pieces, they have better individual pieces, but overall, our young core of Grimes, RJ, Quickley, Obi, McBride, Sims, and Trevor Keels is better than Memphis's young core overall. I think our young core is better overall. And how I get to this point is that when you take Ja Morant out of their lineup, Memphis still wins. And so am I saying Ja Morant is not talented? No. What I'm saying is that their young core is so solid that they can play games without Ja Morant and still get the effect. Ja Morant does not make them better. Does he add to a great young core? Yes. Does he elevate that team? No. No. Ja Morant, with all of his superpowers, does not make Memphis better. Right? Jaren Jackson misses a bunch of games, comes back. Jaren Jackson is a great young player. But does Jaren Jackson help Memphis win? I mean, I'm saying yes, but does he elevate them? When you play Memphis, are you like, oh my God, Jaren Jackson is back? Sometimes you don't even remember he's on the roster. You don't even remember he's on the roster sometimes until the announcers are like, well, Jaren Jackson is back after a 3-game injury. And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot they had Jaren Jackson. Is he a great player, great young player? Yes, indeed. He's a great young player. But does he elevate the Memphis Grizzlies? No. No. Now, with that said, is this young core talented? Absolutely, they're talented. Absolutely, they're talented. Yeah, this is the guy, Xavier Williams. That's the guy I was thinking about. Not Xavier Tillman. He's good too. Right? He's good too. But they also have Lofton Jr., who's a beast. Jake LaRavia is good. Jake LaRavia is a cat that was knocking down those threes against us. Conshaw, the solid dude, the Josh Hart type dude, Conshaw, he's good. They are rock solid, man. They are rock solid. But for us though, for us, I'm gonna put our roster on the screen now. Y'all bear with me, right? As I try to navigate this thing and find us. Come on, ESPN. Come on, ESPN. All right. So now that I put us on the screen, let me get down to what they call the nitty gritty. Let me get down to the nitty gritty. Notice I pointed out Memphis's young core. Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane. All of those are their best players, right? Right. What I'll point out to you guys is this. When you look at our young core, Barrett, Quickley, Grimes, Obi, Deuce McBride, Jericho Sims, Trevor Keels. Our young core is developing in an incubation period because our best players and our young core are two totally different entities. Man-child is in the house. What's good? Our young core and our best players are two different entities, right? Our best player right now Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, whatever. Whatever order you put them in, I don't care. Right? Whatever order you put them in, I don't care. If you like Jalen Brunson, if you think Jalen Brunson is the best player, okay, we're not gonna argue. If you think Julius Randle is the best player on the team right now, I don't care. Whoever. Right? What I'm going to say to you is that a deeper young core, in our situation, is ideal. A deeper young core of talent along with two all-star level players are benefited the incubation period to get better. Like this young core is in a incubation period, right? Where they're not leaned on to be Ja Morant on a nightly basis. They're not leaned on to be Desmond. Well, RJ Barrett is leaned on to be Desmond Bane on a nightly basis. If you ask me right now, what player I prefer, Desmond Bane, RJ Barrett, it's RJ Barrett. It's not even close. Even though I like Desmond Bane a lot. I like Desmond Bane a lot. Do we have a Ja Morant? No. Do we have a Jaren Jackson? No. But we do have a Quentin Grimes, and we do have an Immanuel Quickley. We do have a Grimes, and we do have a Quickley. And I think it's very understated how good both of these players have been. And I understand that. I know some people are going to be like, oh, here we go. We're going to start talking that talk. No. What I'm going to say to you is this. During the season, we get frustrated with wins and losses, so we overrate and devalue players based on the ups and downs of a season. When the season is over, when you get time to decompress and think about what you saw over the course of a season, you get to that point where you're like, okay, I see where we're going here. For instance, Quentin Grimes shot 41% from three after the All-Star break, or since about February, somewhere in there, right? 41% from three is nothing to sneeze at. 41% is nothing to sneeze at. RJ Barrett's season was up and down. The injury this season right here, probably RJ Barrett's best defensive season and worst offensive season based on usage. I'm talking about based on usage, right? As a matter of fact, let's look at RJ Barrett's numbers. RJ Barrett against the Miami Heat in the playoffs. RJ Barrett had a 1-for-10 game against the Miami Heat, y'all. Y'all remember that. But RJ Barrett also had a 26-point game where he was 10 for 20. Can y'all see this on the screen? Can y'all see? Oh, y'all can't see it. There it is. All right. So check this out here. So RJ Barrett had a 26-point game in the playoffs against the Heat, where he was 5 of 8 from the free throw line. RJ Barrett shot 50% from the floor. He stepped up in Julius Randle's absence. Right? Randle comes back. RJ Barrett shoots in game 2. RJ Barrett knocks down 5 3-pointers. Anybody, can y'all see that? Can y'all see that on the screen? RJ Barrett in a must-win playoff game knocked down 5 3-pointers, right? Was 8 for 17. And it was actually better than that, but late in the game, RJ Barrett, blah, 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 whatever. RJ Barrett had a 5 for 16 game in game 3. Terrible. That's the game in Miami. That was a terrible game. But he bounced back with a 9 of 16 game in which he knocked down 3 of 5 3-pointers and contributed all over the floor. That was a loss. RJ Barrett in the playoffs again in a must-win game. Game 5, RJ Barrett played 38 minutes, was 8 of 17 from the floor, knocked down 3 3-pointers, and knocked down 87% of his free throws. RJ Barrett against Cleveland had a 21-point game on 13 shots. He also had a 26-point game on 9 of 18 shooting. RJ Barrett had a game where he scored 19 points on 12 shots, 8 of 12, 3 of 6 from 3. He had 8 rebounds in that game. RJ Barrett, we know he started off the playoffs slow. 4 of 13, 14 points, 2 of 12. RJ's total for the postseason, 43%, 33% from 3, 77% from the free throw line, and blah, blah, blah. Y'all know what it is. But what I want to get to is RJ's splits. There was a split that I saw that I want to show you guys. Right? When Tom Thibodeau figured out his rotations, remember October, November, everything was wonky. After Tom Thibodeau figured it out in January and December, January, RJ Barrett averaged 21.5 points a game on about 46% shooting and about 39% from 3. Right? And so what happened, RJ Barrett comes back off of a injury, and this is the number that I want to show you guys. Pre-All-Star break, RJ Barrett shot 43% from the floor, 32% from 3, took a ton of shots, 16 shots a game. Post All-Star break, RJ Barrett shot 45% from the floor. Got himself together. Here is the disturbing thing that I want to talk to you guys about, though. In wins and losses, RJ Barrett is the same player. There it is on the screen. RJ Barrett is the same player in wins and losses. RJ Barrett, this past season, there is your data. In wins, he's 19.6 points per game. In losses, he's 19.6 points per game. Yep. But what I really want to point out to you is when there is stability, in the Knicks lineup, RJ Barrett is a baller. When there's stability in the Knicks lineup, Quentin Grimes is a baller. When there's stability in the Knicks lineup, Immanuel Quickley, guess what? Is a baller and better than y'all think. It's easy to say, I take Desmond Bane over all 3. I would trade all 3 of them for Desmond Bane. I heard somebody told me that. I would trade Quickley, Grimes, and RJ for Desmond Bane right now, straight up. And I keep telling that person, you are a fool. When we get away from experimenting and just let these young kids play, these kids can ball. RJ Barrett in December in 13 games shot 42% from 3 on 5 attempts. Ultimately, what I'm getting at is this. These kids are better than what we think. This young core is better than what we think. Now, if you're the front office, and you felt like you didn't have to draft anybody because you saw this data, you are crazy. Because in this young core, while I think these kids are good, not great. I think these kids are good, not great. There's no Kobe Bryant in this group, right? There is no Kobe Bryant. There's no Tracy McGrady in this group. I think these kids are good. And you can't sleep on the emergence of Immanuel Quickley and Quentin Grimes. You can't sleep on the emergence of Immanuel Quickley and Quentin Grimes. These kids next year, I think next year, these kids are going to be undeniably good. Undeniably. And so I'm gonna put a thing up here on the screen. I want you guys to see it. When I show you these numbers as a starter, this kid takes 17 shots a game, shoots 40% from three, 85% from the free throw line, basically, averages 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 22 points. And if I ask you who this is, does anybody in the chat know who these numbers belong to? Manchild says, wasn't Grimes supposed to be a ham sandwich? Yeah, on draft day when y'all was calling him Klay Thompson, relax. Yo, Manchild, you remember when they were calling Quentin Grimes Klay Thompson out the box? Soon as he walked on the stage, people like, yo, he gonna be better than Klay Thompson. Relax. No, Uncle Freezy, for real. Quentin Grimes is going to be better than Jerry West, Reggie Miller, and Klay Thompson all put together. Relax, bro. Nah, for real. Quentin Grimes is going to be the logo with pimples on it. Relax, bro. Relax. Relax. No, Uncle Freezy, stop hating on every time the Knicks do something, you hate on what the Knicks do, because Quentin Grimes is going to be Klay Thompson, Jerry West, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, and all of them combined with better defense. Relax. Nah, bro. He a ham sandwich, bro. Relax. Relax. He's just a ham sandwich, bro. Right now, he's just a ham sandwich. Relax. Relax. Right. We don't, as Knicks fans, we don't remember the conversation. We remember the buzzwords, but we never remember the context, right? We Knicks fans would be like, but Uncle Freezy, you called him a ham sandwich. Right. But what did you call him before I said ham sandwich? A dude in the live stream up on this thing up here legit was like, yo, Quentin Grimes is gonna be a mix of Ray Allen and Tony Allen. And I was like, what'd you say? He's like, you heard me. This dude is gonna be a mix of Ray Allen and Tony Allen. You mean UConn, Ray Allen? Yes. Relax, bro. Nah, you relax. Why you always hating on what the Knicks front office do? Every time the Knicks front office do something, you hate it. You be out here begging for the Knicks front office to do something, and when they do something, you hate it. Relax, bro. Quentin Grimes is not going to beat Ray Allen. No, you relax. And then people in the chat are like, yeah, get him. Uncle Freezy hate the Knicks. Uncle Freezy the ops. Uncle Freezy really a Sixers fan. Uncle Freezy's really a Sixers fan, man. Every time the Knicks front office do something, Uncle Freezy hate it. Relax, bro. All I'm saying is that give this kid no. How come other teams can get good talent out the draft and hit on day one, and then relax, bro. Quentin Grimes is, you know what? Quentin Grimes is a ham sandwich. How about that? How about that? And I'm trying to, and you explain to him like, yo, I understand you're excited about the move. I understand that you're excited that the Knicks actually did something. Right? Anthony D says, are you dropping the link? No. I ain't dropping no link because cats come up and be whack. I ain't dropping no link. Cats come up here and, Uncle Freezy, let me ask you a question. No. Take your whack ass to sleep. No, for my chat deserve better, and I'm gonna provide them better. Yo, cats has been like, yo, I deserve to be up on the thing. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not when if you whack, stay your ass in the chat. That was our rule from day one, and I've been real lenient with it. Chat, have I not been really lenient with it? Chat, I've been really lenient with the link, right? The cats were like, yo, drop the link. And I drop the link, and cats come up and they be whack as cats come up here, they be whack as a motherfucker, and then think I owe it to them to put the link in the chat. I don't know. No, that ain't how this work. That ain't how this work. You know what I'm saying? This chat deserves better, and I'm gonna provide them better. My people. You know what I'm saying? For my people that know they dope, for the people that come on and know they dope, you know what I'm saying? They probably got like their own show or something. Like the ones that's dope, they probably got like their own joint where they come on and they rock, they get the microphone to themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, yo, for my people that's dope, they come on, they have their own show. I don't say nothing. I disappear. But the chat deserve better. And the chat been saying it for months. The chat like, yo, Uncle Freezy, man, you be dropping the link. Cats be coming up here. They be whack. But anyway, my point though, the point that I'm getting at is this young core is better than what we think. These guys are performing. These guys are performing at a level in which if they ever got the opportunity to fully showcase what they can do, RJ Barrett can be that 42% three-point shooter if untethered. Bully said Vibes and stuff. He said, yeah, Vibes dope, bro. The 718 boys is dope. I don't even bully. The 718 boys is dope, bro. Yeah, the 718 boys is dope, bro. I don't know why y'all don't say that. I enjoy it. Right? The 718 boys is dope. I enjoy it. I like it. If other people don't like it, you can't please everybody, but I like it. Old school Knicks is dope. I like it. I enjoy it. Right? I enjoy it. Old school Knicks is dope. I just like it. I like when me and AD can get on that plane and just talk about how everything relates to a thing. That's dope. Right? Hey, the pod couple, hey, G-Man for Life has a personal work related thing where he's just not available. That's all it is. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that happens like even with Knicks freestyle. If the sketch people, they're human beings, and they have work things and personal things, and sometimes just things just can't line up. Right? The thing is, the chat has been telling me for months and months, like, yo, man, come on, we got to get back to dope content. Like, dudes want to come on with their shirt off. Dudes come on, they eating, it's like cats is eating. You can hear cats is outside standing by the ambulance trying to get on and rock, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, we can't do that. No, we gotta provide dope content. And if you do it, and listen, and if you want to rock, and this thing offended you, you should be offended, right? Step your game up. Don't take it personal. Just be better. If you new to this and you don't know how this thing work, and you don't have a quiet space, and you don't have good lighting, and you don't have like a good microphone or good headphones and all that stuff, and you see me isolate like this every time you see me in a quiet place, isolated with decent lighting and a microphone and things of that sort. And then you come up with a flip phone, standing in traffic, trying to be on. That's a you problem. That's you whack. That's not me. That's not us. Yo, Uncle Fulio is in the house. That's just food for thought. I want to get back on the topic, but the chat deserves better, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand that people want to come on and rock and all that stuff, but it can't be like, a wilding out for the night, fist throwing, no shirt on, slamming back drinks. You know what I'm saying? All this, it can't be that, bro. It got to be like the pristine atmosphere, man. It got to be that. Because this stuff goes on the internet, and it's going to be on the internet forever. And if people's first impression is some dude standing by an ambulance on a flip phone, talking to like 5 different people, and the audio is crazy, they just going to click off the channel and not even rock with us. We got to be dope. And the other thing too is why would you want to come to Blorange Tears and be that way, and then go to other channels and then be in a pristine atmosphere? It's disrespectful to me. I take offense to it. I take offense to it. Like, we'll go on other people's channels and do exactly what it is to be dope, and then come here and not be dope. I take offense to that. You offended me and then not even knowing it. Just like stepping on my toes and the toes of the chat and all of that stuff. I'm gonna pull this down. Let me pull. Okay, not that. There we go. So Uncle Fulio says, put the link in the chat. Can he have the link? Okay. All right. So I got some of my people. So I got some of my everydays in the chat. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. But listen, I'm not gonna repeat nothing. I'm gonna say, if you come on here, if you click this link, and you ain't dope, I'm booting you for the thing and might ban you from the channel. That's how serious I am about this. I'm not playing games with this thing no more about cats coming up here being whack. Right? We got to provide a dope setting and content for the people that watch this channel. So I'm gonna put that out there like that. I'm gonna put my pretty face right here like this. Clap your hands, everybody. So my thing is this young core. You know what I'm saying? This young core that we have is better than what people think it is. Yo, AD is in the building. What's good, AD? Look, he ain't even ready. Look at this. He ain't even ready. AD, you ready?
I'm always ready.
Okay.
What? Can I not catch my breath? Have I not put enough sweat and tears on this platform to get 2 seconds?
No.
What am I?
No, because the
running
chat,
the mill?
Right, because the chat expects you to be dope every time they see you.
Look. You and your subliminal take shots at the chat, you will not use me with your madness. Okay.
All right, good night, boss. Hey, BT, what's good, bro?
How you doing, man? How's everything?
I'm good.
Good, man. I really don't know what we were thinking about the draft, but like I really think that what's going on with what we have behind the scenes might actually come up. I really want to see more about Grimes because I think Grimes got potential. RJ, for me, though, I think he's right at the brink of breaking through. If not, I think we got to go with Grimes. But how you doing tonight?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Right.
Hey, man. Don't think I'm throwing shots, man. Listen, I expect y'all. I expect y'all to be dope every time y'all come on.
Look, to be honest,
and if that's not good enough, then we should just probably like take a step back. You know,
you're right. Look, it's your platform. Your game is at an A. You want everybody.
It's our platform. Yeah, it's our platform, and we got to make sure that we be dope. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, man.
So,
like I said, I'm always here for support. Don't matter if I'm on here or in the chat. I always support your channel. You keep the facts real.
Yo, Uncle Fulio, what's good? Hey, Jake, give me a split second, Jake. Uncle Fulio, what's good, man?
What's going on, man? How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you, bro. How do you feel about this young core, bro?
I like the young pieces we have. I wouldn't necessarily call them a core because I don't think the Knicks are going to keep all of these guys around for the long haul. I think at the end of the day, they're going to be put in the trade somewhere. Not all of them. I think there is a way for, like Grimes, for example. I think Grimes is going to be here for the long haul.
Right.
But as far as all the rest of the young players, I wouldn't necessarily call them a core because I believe they're going to be salary fillers or enticing for another team to take in a trade for a bigger player.
Really?
Yes.
Like RJ Barrett?
Yes.
How soon?
I don't know if it's happening this offseason. I mean, I was hoping that it would. I was high, very, very high on the Zach LaVine thing, but it looks like that's not going to happen.
Right. All right. Mm-hmm. Oh, my bad. I thought I was still off camera. Push to the side like 1971 platform shoes out this piece. But I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I just want to say I heard you on other podcasts. I like your shows too. You give a lot of Nick content. You and Uncle very unique with what you say. But for me, I think RJ Barrett should stay because of the fact is his potential as a left-handed player. It's very hard for you to play in this league and be dominant. If he now can transform and actually learn how to play better, I think he'll be just as good as what everyone thinks with Grimes. Don't get me wrong. I like Grimes because of his defense and his potential to keep going. But RJ, to me, I think he could be that star that everyone can actually look at and be like, yo, he's a good number 2 because of his potential.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? What is the potential with RJ Barrett? Like describe to me what that looks like, what that means to you. Based on what you've seen so far, what is the potential that you see, what you just said?
Okay, the potential is basically because there's not a lot of dominant left-handed players, even if you are diverse with both, if you're ambidextrous. Those are very rare. So for me, you'll get mostly right-handed. Look at Brown. Brown's dribble to the left. He's not as good. But if you could take RJ's skill set and actually amplify it, which is through coaching, which is what I'm saying, which I've always been saying we weak on. If we were to develop him the right way, his left-handed dominance would make his right side just as good. Because if you look at a court, there's 2 sides. It's a 90-degree angle. You got, you see what I'm saying? Like you got, if you divide it in half,
No. Hey, BT, hold on. It sound like a ramble.
How you going to interrupt BT?
I'm trying to explain to him what I'm saying.
I hear him.
I'm just saying on the left side, he's very dominant. He has flaws, but if we can control and develop him correctly, we can make RJ into a superstar. Like, let me see. Let me
get my brass knuckles, yo.
So
like a Jalen Brown, maybe.
Let me go get my brass knuckles for real.
If y'all just allow me just a moment. Hey, Jake, I wanted you to wait just for a few moments because I want to bring you on and say welcome and all that stuff, and then I, brought you on, and we
my fault, brother.
To say welcome and ask you how you doing and all that stuff, man.
So my fault, Mr. Breeze. I got overexcited, y'all. Let you finish your talking. My bad, y'all.
No doubt.
I will dethrone you, 2-time Green Street non-defending champ. I will brass knuckle you to death. What
do we? Yo, AD, you not even on? Come on, bro. We not even on topic, bro. We talking about a certain thing.
I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. I was muted.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about things getting off the rail. This is not dope. It's not. It's
okay.
not.
Okay, real quick. I'm sorry. I apologize. I do want to follow up. I don't want to argue about the RJ thing. I really am curious as to what people see. That's why I mean the potential. Like that's the future. That's opportunity in the future, right? I was asking a question about specifically what have we seen from RJ in the past. The past 4 years he's been in the NBA to say that he is going to be that guy. And what I heard from UBT was that the fact that he's left-handed, right? So I'm just asking, like, what have we seen from him? Like, what is it there that we can literally grasp onto and hold on to and say, okay, yo, boom, RJ Barrett is going to be a certain type of player? It's a question. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just asking.
Understanding the question, right? I understand the question, right? The point that I'm getting at with RJ is RJ Barrett is wildly inconsistent. When you look at his track record of production from month to month, you'll see swings where he shoots 43% from 3 and then 21% from 3 in the same season. And sometimes from 1 month to the next, his shot will just disappear from deep range, right? But then also what you'll see is the areas that where you also measure production, like his defense varies wildly from 1 month to the next. Like on certain times, RJ Barrett looks like the worst defender in the NBA, right? And then at other times, RJ Barrett looks like an above average defender with high defensive upside. But the thing about it is those months that RJ Barrett is a good defender always seem as if they're the same month that coincides with his dip in offense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like RJ he can't find a level of consistency at all levels. right? It's like for people with a military background. You'll understand what I'm saying with this. A soldier can be great in the classroom and get to the firing range and be terrible.
You mean a sailor?
Yeah, right. A soldier, right? I got you, right. And so they'll take their extra time to get better at the firing range, and then all of a sudden you see their classroom stuff dip, and then you're like, oh my God, okay, we got to find a balance of both of these things, and then they take the PT test and fail, right? And then you're like, oh my God, how you fail a PT test? And it's like, and this is what we go through with RJ Barrett, where RJ Barrett has high upside in all these different categories, but our frustration is RJ Barrett can't find the sustained level of excellence at all these things at once, because once he does one thing good, you can bank on something else falling off, Uncle Fulio. That's what RJ Barrett is to us.
But you could take that, Uncle Freezy, and I'm sorry, Fulio, Uncle Fulio. You could take, if he was good in one area above the rest, especially when you needed it. Right? Like, if he wasn't 1 for 10 or 1 for 12 in the biggest game of the year, in game 6, versus him giving up 15 to 18 or 20 on the other side, if it was equal, where you wouldn't even remember that he was horrible on defense. You wouldn't even remember that he had one decent pass that led to a decent shot.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. So the balance that, and I get your point that, there's a balance to the game which is, you're talking about consistency.
Right.
But George Iceman Gervin was never a good defensive player.
No, he was not. Not even a good passer either.
He wasn't looking to pass, because as the Iceman would tell you, I was looking for someone to say, did you see the move that Iceman threw down last night?
Right. And that's an excellent point. I'm glad you went there. That's excellent.
Right? But RJ's just not. The thing is, I don't care if RJ's good defensively. That's why you supposedly have Mitch. He's not good offensively.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is, between his highs and his lows, to me, he's a good player. The thing is we need to develop him to where he can have a mid-game to where we can actually evaluate. Like you said, Uncle Freezy, he shot 41% from 3 at one time. Then he just garbage.
Then he's 21%. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. If we coach him and develop him where his mid-game is consistent, we would be fine with RJ being our number 2. That's all I'm trying to say.
Let me ask you a question.
I add something real quick about that.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll wait.
I'm sorry, JJ. Let me ask you a question. How long? This is two quick questions in one little. How long are you willing to wait for his development? Right. 1, 2. How long are you willing to sacrifice Brunson's prime while you wait on RJ to get to his level?
Right.
Good point.
Wait, you asking me or just?
I'm asking you, Brian.
Okay, me personally, I give him till the season, and then by the mid-season, if he's not stepping up, I'm trading him. That's why I asked earlier, like a trade piece for RJ Barrett. I like RJ and his potential, but if we got to trade him, we could trade him. I prefer Grimes right now because Grimes is consistent. But what I'm saying is, I want to see RJ's consistency. Once I see his consistency, then I could rate him. Because his highs and lows be driving me crazy. But at the same time, we got to develop that. I'm willing to wait till, to answer your question, basically, I'm willing to wait till mid-season and see what he's like. Because he had plenty of time to develop.
So you're not willing to wait because half a season is no time.
Half a season is no time.
Yeah, so you're not willing
to say that. Half a season is no time.
I'm talking about, look. If you're talking, because you said RJ Brunson and everything, and I'm saying off of what you said, if the way you're saying that RJ Barrett's time is let's say 5 years, I'm not going to wait and let other players develop. I'm going to try to get pieces to better him. But if I'm looking at him specifically, I'm willing to give RJ Barrett about a year or two because I think that in that time frame he can develop to be great. But if you're talking about Brunson's, I can't wait because Brunson, to me, even Uncle said it, and I hate to jump on his point. He made a good point last time about Tibbs, how he is with point guards with Rose. That made me think, hey, I don't want this to happen to Brunson, so I'm going to pull the trigger now to try to make the team win now. That's what I'm saying. So if you're talking about how long it takes for RJ to develop, I'm only going to wait half a season to a year at most with Brunson. But if it's RJ by himself, a full 2 years would be good.
I love this version. AD, that was an excellent question, bro.
I can't even, because I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you, BT. You know what I'm saying, baby? I'm not knocking you, but here's my thought process in it. Everything revolves around Brunson. It's about the Brunsons.
That's true too.
Okay.
It's about the Brunsons. You understand what I'm saying? It's about Brunson, and how do you, if he's not your number one, then he has to have a solid 2. Or he has to have the number 1.
Right.
RJ is not in the 1-2 equation right now. And that's dangerous.
Jake, you wanted to say something? I don't want to cut in front of you, Jake.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries, y'all. First of all, I want to say salute to the Knicks community, man. I love this show, bro. Freezy, you the man, bro. I fuck with your show. I've been watching it constantly since started watching this. God bless you all, man. You got good content. Good shit, y'all.
Appreciate it.
And also, one thing about the Barrett thing, when you were sort of mentioning about him, like how to develop him like that type of way, man, I kind of feel like when he started in the league, he'd been more of like a driving to the basket type of guy. I noticed it when I watched him play.
Right.
But I know in the playoffs he can turn up with the 3-ball shooting. It's been on and off, not consistent enough. You feel me? So what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to depth and a roster construction of what you're looking at, you can have a player to drive to the basket. You can have some complementary shooters that can shoot the 3, and a big man that don't play offense that could be good defense. I mean, my question about that is this a good strategy of how to use your depth? Or is it just a waste of time and you think it's time to move on with some piece to match that what Thibodeau's trying to do with this team?
Right. So you got about like 3 open questions there. Let us think about that as we hear from Uncle Fulio, and then we can come back to it based on answer your questions.
That's just my thought, and because you were talking about Barry, I was kind of curious myself of what you all think about that type of perspective. But go on, y'all. I'm listening.
So I just want to respond to BT. So first and foremost, we gotta actually ask ourselves, how do we envision RJ being used, right? Because you said we need to develop him. So what is the best way for RJ to be used? I'm thinking on the ball or off the ball. Okay. And on this type of roster, when you have Jalen Brunson being a point guard who's been a little bit more ball dominant this year, and Julius Randle, is the best possible option for RJ to be on the ball or off the ball. To me, I felt like a major thing that I would like to have seen from RJ Barrett was better use off the ball, meaning movement without the basketball and knocking down that 3-point shot that he's been open for a lot, that he has not been hitting, right? So in this particular team, RJ Barrett is going to be an off the ball player. Now you can say, well, RJ Barrett is better on the ball. Is RJ Barrett, can he pull up? Can RJ Barrett take shots off the dribble and make those consistently? I have not seen that. And when we talk about growth from a player and developing and what we think a player is going to be, there has not been any growth from RJ Barrett over the last 4 years when you look at them collectively, right? He had his rookie year. Okay, fine. People don't want to, look at that. He's a rookie. Second year, took a huge jump, 41% from 3, right? Defensive numbers were a little bit, they were there. They were very, very decent. Major drop off in year 3. And then year 4, he was better than he was in year 3, but he didn't quite hit that second year, those second year numbers. So where is the growth? Where is the growth in that? Normally, okay, things go up and down, right? But you can at least see a player every other year eclipse what their previous career high was. RJ Barrett is not getting to that point on any level, on any numbers, right? floor game, 3-point shooting, mid-range shooting. He's not getting to that level. So to me, it's just stagnation. If you look at a graph, if you put RJ's numbers on a graph, it's just if you have like a median across his numbers and his game, everything is just going up and down across the same median. There's no growth in the chart. So that's my question. That's the reason why I asked, what have we seen from RJ Barrett to show growth in the last 4 years? I have not seen that.
Let me jump in on that. And I'm not gonna, and no disrespect, but I think it's a unfair question.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's an unfair question is because, and not because of your logic not making sense, because it makes perfect sense. What you're asking makes perfect sense in a vacuum. Unfortunately, the Knicks over RJ Barrett's career have not had sustainable, good play from other pieces on the roster. Right? So you see these ups and downs. It's not just because RJ Barrett gets to the same spot, makes one, miss one, makes one, miss one. There were points where he was getting those passes and he was on the floor with Wayne Ellington, Austin Rivers, Alfred Payton. You know what I'm saying? And so while these names don't sound like you're like, well, they're all NBA players. I get it. No, all NBA players are not created equal. Like, I'm not going to trade Austin Rivers for Giannis. They're not taking that. Right. My thing is once, like, before you clicked on screen, the thing I was showing, like with the numbers, is once the Knicks themselves, the roster becomes consistent, then the young players also become consistent, is what I was getting at. Like when Tibbs went to the 9-man rotation, RJ Barrett started playing the best basketball of the season. Right? And I know it seems unfair. Like, well, how come RJ Barrett didn't impact the other stuff? If he's good, how come he didn't impact the lineup when Cam Reddish and all them were in it? Bro, we're still talking about young people. The stuff that, bro, if right now, if you could go back and look at your 22-year-old self, you're like, what the hell was I doing? Right? And sometimes I think we have to take that into account when we look at these cats. Like, their development is not going to be, you know what I'm saying, all wine and roses for those that like wine and roses, right? It's even like with our guys that come on the channel, they're not going to be the best version of themselves all the time because they all trying to learn and understand that they're going from guys that jump out of the chat onto the live stream, and they're becoming YouTubers. They don't understand that they're YouTubers now. You're no longer that cat in the chat. You're a YouTuber now. You're creating content, and people expect you to be a YouTuber. When you was just a dude in somebody's chat, just typing your feelings and all that stuff, you were just that dude in the chat typing your feelings, right? But once you step into a YouTube space, you are a YouTuber and people expect you to be dope all the time. It's the same thing that we're saying about RJ Barrett. Like, RJ Barrett is stepping out of his development. We're judging his development and predicting whether he's going to be great or not. What we should be thinking is the environment right for these young players to develop consistently?
Well, that's why I asked the question.
And the answer is yes.
Now
it's yes, but it wasn't.
No, Freezy. Let's be fair here, okay? RJ, as you and I, and just to let it be a little transparent of some of our conversations off air, right? When we talked, and I said, Freezy, you can say whatever you want about Brunson or whatever, and some people would say, well, Brunson, he shoots too much, blah 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 blah. I said, well, Brunson is what he needs to be for the team. It was the same way in Villanova. It was the same way in Dallas. It's the same way with the Knicks. They needed him to be that, so he was that. You see, RJ still was able to average 20 points per game.
Right.
Randall had his best season in the Knicks uniform with Brunson.
Okay.
So it's not like opportunities. When I'm talking about RJ, just to be clear, I'm not saying RJ can't be what he can eventually be in time. I'm saying his timeline and Brunson's timeline is not the same.
What I was gonna say, I was gonna answer your question. Is this more off-ball movement with RJ Barrett? He can maybe grow confidence in his game to where he gets comfortable, because at times we use him, we start him, then we bench him. We don't use him consistently as a team, and plus the roster is constantly changing.
But
so
he
for
averaged 20 points per game.
Right.
And I was just trying to say,
also the
for me,
injuries
him
improved
actually
too.
having, I was just saying, him having a team this year actually should have been the year he should have shined, and he didn't, in my eyes. So for me, I want to see him do it again next year. And if it's not there, it's not there. And I'm okay with letting him go. But I prefer more off-ball movement because we got a guard like Brunson. Brunson is nasty with the ball and can play. But now that he actually has that, I don't think he registers it correctly to where he's like, yo, I could do this better. I could do that better. That's what I'm talking about.
I just want to, and I think, BT, I think you and Freezy bring up a good point though, and this is why I asked the question about where do we see RJ moving forward, as an off-ball player or an on-the-ball player, right? But hold that thought though. In his second year in the NBA, he played more on-ball, right? Elfrid Payton was the point guard. RJ Barrett had his best season in the on-ball role. Yep. Right? There was no the ball dominant point guard here like Jalen Brunson is now. Moving forward, if you got Jalen Brunson on the contract for the next 3-4 years, and then you got Randall on the contract for the next 3-4 years, RJ Barrett, or do we envision him as an off-ball player or an on-ball player? In his best season, he was an on-ball player. Now, this past season with Brunson, when there were times at the end of games where we needed more ball handlers on the floor, you've seen Immanuel Quickley on the floor more at the end of games, not RJ Barrett.
Right.
Which tells me that there is no confidence there for RJ Barrett in an on-ball role, despite what he did in his second year in the NBA. So that's why I asked the question, and I think this is a good discussion. Where do we see RJ Barrett moving forward? If we think his best years are playing on the ball, you got Brunson and you got Randall there. Right, yeah, and if RJ Barrett,
add some context to it.
Well, okay, but so let me add that context. You talked about Wayne Ellington and Elfrid Payton. These guys right. are more off the ball players than anything, right? So that year when RJ Barrett had his best season in that on ball role, it's because there was nobody else really ball dominant like that except for Randall. Right. Now, hold on, real quick. I'm about to be done. Right now, we have Jalen Brunson, who's ball dominant, and Julius Randle, who's also ball dominant. There was still times where we needed to have a more on-ball presence on the court, particularly at the end of games. And what happened was, in order for us to succeed at the end of games, Quickley was out there on the floor, not just for defensive purposes, but because he's a ball handler instead of RJ. So where do we envision RJ Barrett moving forward? Do we envision him on the ball or off the ball? For me, in last season, because he didn't take any steps as an on-ball player, or he regressed tremendously as an on-ball player, I liked him better in the off-ball role. But is that best for him? That's my question.
Let me first of all let me say this to the panel and to you, Uncle Fulio. So you brought up 6 different things that we should have talked about, but you put them all in one paragraph. And what I was trying to get you to do is let's talk about one thing at a time, so that we can do justice to what you're really asking. Because what happens is when you put all of them together, and then all of us answer one thing, you're gonna feel like what you asked is unfulfilled. Right? Because it was.
He's a Navy man. He's a Navy man. He's never unfulfilled. These men be underwater for 2 minutes at a time. What are you talking about?
I think my main premise was asking.
Uncle Fulio, let me, because I understand where you're going, but let me ask you this. Just listen to me. Hear me out. I am on this road with you, right? I'm on this road with you, right? Let me ask you this. What is your expectation of an on-ball player?
My expectation of an on-ball player is to be someone who can knock shots down off the dribble. Offensively.
That's not Brunson.
I just want to say this. Okay.
What? Say it again.
That's not RJ Barrett. Excuse me.
Hold on. Let me answer this question. If we trust RJ to be I'm saying if he can be the off-ball guy it would also help him.
But BT, hold on. See, this is where we making Kool-Aid, bro. I asked one specific question. What is an on-ball player? Answer that, and then we'll get to all the other stuff.
An on-ball player.
I'll answer that for easy.
That's my answer. That's my answer. Someone like who? Okay, are you asking me what is an on-ball player, or are you asking me what?
He's asking what the expectation of an on-ball player is.
Yeah,
what is your expectation of
someone who can knock shots down off the dribble? That's my expectation.
Okay, BT, go ahead, BT.
Okay, because if that's the case, then for me, a guy who is an on-ball player is a guy who can develop plays and also take the shots and know how to read the defense. That's what an on-ball player. An off-ball player is a guy who can.
We're not talking about off-ball. We are not.
Okay. So on-ball. Okay, I got you. So on-ball player. That's what an on-ball player is to me.
Right. Jake, you want to add something about an on-ball player?
Defining an on-ball player, what I look at is you have to have the vision, the IQ, read the court, read the people that's with you around you on the court, and just have the brain to think about if you've been guarded and you're stuck. You have to have IQ and vision. That's where it comes to have to be a wide open person. Handle the ball responsibly and find the open man. It just doesn't have to be just shooting. You can just create playmaking. That's how you get better with your teammates around you. Which I was going to say, our Barrett could be off the ball. And because of that, what I'm trying to get to is if you just leave Barrett on the corner, the three-point line, while people are guarding Brunson and Randall and they're stuck, they got other options they could pass it to. Either Grimes, Barrett, Hart, Quickley. Those guys could be on the three, but they always just – I know that's like last year.
Jake, we don't want to talk about the off-ball yet. We're going to get to Uncle Fulio thing.
Oh, on-ball.
We just want to specifically talk about the on-ball. Now,
that was my answer on-ball.
An example for me.
Hold on. Let me get back to Uncle Fulio. Let me get back to Uncle because Uncle Fulio has a question that's on the floor.
Well, to me, I think there's a major difference between on-ball player and ball dominant. I'm not talking about ball dominant. I'm saying an on-ball player. I think those are two different things. Obviously, if you're a ball dominant player, you're an on-ball player, right? But it doesn't have to be the other way around, right? And for me, I'm not expecting RJ Barrett to be ball dominant. I'm saying, is he best in a ball dominant role, meaning you can knock shots down off the dribble, like let's say a Quickley. Let's say a Julius Randle, because Julius Randle, his IQ is not that good, but he is an on-ball player. His best seasons when he's playing on the ball. And he doesn't have the best IQ, but he can knock shots down off the dribble. And to me, RJ Barrett has not shown that ability to be effective enough, in my opinion, as an on-ball player.
Okay.
And I think the Knicks needed that last season at the end of games. That's why you didn't see him out there.
Oh, okay. That's a separate point, though. What I want to do
is
because what's happening is I think you have an excellent topic. I think we're turning it into mincemeat because we're adding too much stuff to it. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about what no doubt. We got plenty. We have plenty of time, right? My thing is if that's your expectation of an on-ball player, right? Then an off-ball player doesn't have to be diametrically opposite, right? But what will be considered an off-ball player? Like, what do y'all consider an off-ball player? AD, what's good, bro? Everything all right?
Everything's classic.
Okay.
You want me to go first on that?
Yeah, we couldn't even hear because AD.
You want me to go first on that question?
Yeah.
Okay, so an off-ball player for me is someone who is able to get in his spots, get in space off the ball, doesn't need the ball to get open, essentially, right? And when he gets that ball in an off-ball role, like he's able to space the floor much better. I would say that an off-ball player is someone who has the ability to space the floor, not just with the ball in his hands, but without it, right? So to me, Nikola Jokic is a really good off-ball player, even though he is great at assisting with the ball in his hands. His ability to pass, right, tells me that he's a really good off-ball player. He's able to space the floor, right? So that's what an off-ball player is for me. Someone who doesn't need the ball in their hands to be effective.
Okay. Right.
Freezy, can I ask you something, Freezy? Uncle Freezy?
If you're trying to put me on trial, I'm not answering.
I'm trying to put you on.
if you have something to say, something to say, don't say it, bro. Come
that
on.
shit was good one. That was a good one, Freezy. That was a good one.
I wanted
I
to
plead the
know,
fifth.
Yeah.
Is there an ending to the reasoning for the differences between on and off ball? Are we gonna get to a conclusion?
Yes. Okay.
But there's a reason why you're doing this.
There is a reason why.
Okay.
And the thing is too, if it's not your cup of tea, bro, then
no. I'm just trying to understand. I didn't know where we were going.
Because the thing about what Uncle Fulio is saying to us, and we really shouldn't have to explain it, bro. Is elementary. The thing about it is when Uncle Fulio asks a simple question, we complicate the answer by adding too much stuff. Right? We're talking about Mitchell Robinson screens and Jalen Brunson holding the ball too long. When that man asked specifically, is RJ Barrett an on-ball or off-ball player? And we're talking about too much stuff. If we're talking about RJ Barrett being an on-ball player, that's one thing.
But everything is interactive, no?
No.
He's not playing with all of the other players.
You can't be on-ball and off-ball at the same time.
It's one or the other.
Well, you know what? That's not true. Depending on
that is true. Either you have the ball in your hands or you don't.
No, that's not true, because sometimes during the game, I know what you're saying, so maybe we're missing each other. But sometimes during the game, depending on the coach's strategy, that player may be called to be on ball. I've seen RJ on ball.
So
we've seen RJ on ball. Yeah, so then he's on ball. We would have to go through how good is his efficiency, him being on ball versus off ball.
And that's what I was trying to get at. What suits RJ
depends on the rotation he's in.
Yeah, but here's what we're missing. Here's what we're missing here. Why would we want to ever take the ball out of Brunson's hands when he's on the court with RJ? Who's better on ball?
Okay,
Brunson or RJ?
Brunson.
Okay. But the thing about first of all, no player plays 48 minutes. He ain't Wilt Chamberlain. Secondly, what you are missing, and
would you have played Brunson? Would you have played Brunson 48 minutes in Game 6?
When you were talking, I was quiet, bro. When you were talking, I was quiet. Hear me out. What I'm saying to you is, you forget that other teams play defense. Other teams are going to devise defenses to get the ball away from Brunson. Then what? See, this is exactly what happened to us against Miami. Miami trapped Brunson coming down the floor,
and then RJ went 1 for 12.
And then
that's
that
what
was terrible.
That's what.
That's not.
You see, we want to complicate. You see, y'all want to complicate matters. Y'all want to complicate matters.
No, but there's more nuance.
Hold on a second, Uncle Fulio. Hold on,
I'm just gonna say this, AD.
Go ahead, say it.
I've played basketball, bro.
That's fine.
You didn't invent basketball.
I am not Dr. Naismith.
Right.
I never claimed to be.
And so what I'm saying,
I don't own a peach basket.
Right. So what I'm saying to you is this. You see this thing one way, somebody else sees it another way, doesn't mean that what you say is gonna be the gospel.
I never said it was, but it's my opinion.
But
I'm not entitled to my opinion.
But you count.
Everybody's not entitled to their opinion.
You cut
what are we?
Off.
What are we? Sheep?
Right.
What are we following a herd?
But we expect you to be dope.
What's dope to you may not be dope to somebody else.
That's the point he's making.
That's the point that I'm getting at, AD.
That's fine.
I just want to answer.
That's fine for everybody else. We're 5 people on here.
Right.
But real quick, let me just interject real quick. I think RJ is better on ball, but with the roster we have now, he needs to develop his off ball because Brunson is the better on ball guard.
But
that's all I got.
Okay. So Uncle Fulio's point is getting kicked down the road again because we keep. Okay. All right. You know what, man? Just okay.
No, Freezy. I think a little bit of nuance is okay. It's okay. I mean, this is your show. I'm sorry. I don't want to overstep you. You know what I'm saying? But I think a little bit of nuance in these conversations are important when we talk about RJ, right? So I think Immanuel Quickley, I think Jalen Brunson's better than Immanuel Quickley on ball. But like you said, Freezy, there's defenses out there that are going to prevent Jalen Brunson from sometimes handling the ball. And that's when you need someone else to step up. And I think we were missing Quickley tremendously in that Miami series. Even though Quickley had a bad series against Cleveland, I think having him out there as another on-ball option would have helped us tremendously, because then it would have limited what Miami can do defensively, right?
He was the first couple of games against Miami. I
understand that.
Julio, that's not the question. Okay, see what I'm saying about kicking the can? That's not the question you asked. The question you asked.
I get that. I was responding to AD. I'm sorry. My bad.
That's why that's why it seems like I'm over moderating. I'm over moderating because you asked a specific question. And in order for us to get to the answer for that question, we have to eliminate the stuff that's not directly correlated to what you asked.
On topic.
Yeah.
I understand. I just want to say one thing. I think the nuance, and it is important. And that's why when I said what I said just now about Quickley, I was responding specifically to AD, right? Because it's not about who's better with the on the ball. Like, I was responding to what you were saying also in regards to how defenses are defending the Knicks. And I think a little bit of nuance in this conversation is important. I don't think it's completely off topic. I think we are on topic. And that's the reason why I was asking what is better for RJ and his development versus the team, and how we're going to use him moving forward, and what do we envision RJ as? I think that's all important. It's all a part of the same conversation. I don't think it's kicking the can down the road. I think it's all important.
It's definitely kicking the can down the road in my opinion, because if I'm listening, if I'm using active listening, what I heard you say, ask is a RJ Barrett related series of questions.
Correct.
And so when we talk about on ball and off ball, the reason why I want to specify is because RJ Barrett on ball, right, is making plays for himself and others with the basketball.
Yes.
RJ Barrett off the ball is the receiver of those plays made by either the scheme or the person playmaking with the ball, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. So if we parse those two, if we look at off the ball is blue and on the ball is red, we don't want to have a purple conversation. Nah, one is this color, one is the other. And you are asking about his long-term effectiveness being one or the other, right?
Yes, correct.
Right. And how long should we wait on his development on one or the other?
Right.
Right. That's basically what we're asking. So if we're asking that question specifically, it's not about Jalen Brunson holding the ball or Julius Randle's ISOs. It's specifically about those three questions that you asked: on ball, off ball, how long do we wait?
Right.
Right. And so what I want to say to you about both in all three is this: on ball, RJ Barrett right now is a on ball player. Right? Because he is not a great catch and shoot guy yet. And he's not a good slasher to the rim without the ball. Like when's the last time you saw RJ Barrett say catch a lob for a dunk in the half court from someone else?
Never.
I haven't seen it yet.
Never.
You haven't seen it yet.
Right. And so these are off ball things like spot up shooting, slashing to the rim, catching passes, screening away for others to get open shots. We hadn't seen RJ Barrett thrive in that role yet, right? Where we see RJ Barrett thrive is a ISO scorer, right? That's what we see RJ Barrett thrive. ISO playmaker, right? Now, the thing is ultimately, like when you say how long are we gonna wait on RJ Barrett to develop? I'm with AD on this, right? We can't waste other players' prime waiting on RJ Barrett to develop. So right now, you have to parse it in two different ways. You have to either lower your expectation for RJ Barrett's development so that it won't mess up the prime of Jalen Brunson, right? Or have RJ expect him to get better right now, or you replace him with someone else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I wanted, and I know it seems like I'm oversimplifying, but what I wanted to do, because I noticed when you ask questions in other spaces, people never listen to what it is that you say completely, and they basically jump on either the buzzword or the last thing they heard. And in fairness to you, I wanted to listen to what it is that you had to say, break it, take it in, like not formulate my answer before I hear you, right? And think about what you said. So if we think about it like that, in fairness to what AD said, you can't waste Brunson. So RJ Barrett's development has to be either tabled and bring it along slow, or you got to get him out of here and get somebody else to help Jalen Brunson right away.
Well, which one do you feel like we should do?
That's a good question.
Just really quickly, I'm not for sure because I don't know how good Jalen Brunson is. Right?
Okay.
We've only seen Jalen Brunson 1 year as the main guy at point guard.
And we've seen RJ 4.
Right. Now I get that part, but then at the same time too, Jalen Brunson's RJ Barrett's first 4 years are better than Jalen Brunson's first 4 years.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God! Is this man serious? Is this man serious? Are you really serious? Is this one of these Ewing tangents you're about to go on right now to prove how RJ's first 4 years is better?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Brunson has been fucking fantastic for his first year. If that continues, then he can be better than RJ.
Right.
I think he already is better than RJ. That goes without
nobody's questioning that part. Nobody's questioning in the 5th year Jalen Brunson versus.
We just have to wait and see how he plays from year 2 and 3. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's too much data. It's too much data out here for me to even acknowledge that RJ Barrett is better than Jalen Brunson through 4 years.
Yeah, don't do it to yourself.
I mentioned how the Knicks have their roster constructed when you have Randall being as ball dominant as he is. Well, less ball dominant this year than previous years because you have Brunson, right? Both of those guys are on ball players. I still feel like there is an on ball role that for this team to reach its full potential. There needs to be someone else that can handle the ball and be an on ball player in that lineup because there were times last season where you had to put Quickley in the game, and this is why I'm going to Quickley. And this RJ thing is because Quickley is really good on the ball. He can take shots off the dribble. RJ Barrett has not developed that part of his game or to the level where I feel like with Brunson and Randall there, he can be able to do that in the offense. I think that's the big difference between this team being where it is right now and on another level, right? So I do agree. I think RJ Barrett is best in an on-ball role, but he has not developed to the level where we're not wasting Jalen Brunson's prime. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. I just think we need to see more. And I think for me, I am not willing to wait. I'm willing to go out and go get that guy that can be there in the offense.
All right. Yes. So for those of y'all that think I'm wrong about RJ Barrett being better than Jalen Brunson first 4 years, how about some facts? Jalen Brunson averaged 9 points, 8 points, 12 points, 16 points a game. And he was playing next to the best player in the NBA while he was doing it. Y'all need it, man. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I honestly think that some of y'all don't even know basketball, period. I think y'all just read newspapers and then come in and be like, yo, but such and such told me. Are you serious?
Okay, this is where you did a Marina stepping.
You're just one of those guys. You're just one of those guys that always proves that numbers lie.
Wait, hold on.
You're just one of those guys that proves that numbers lie. Jalen Brunson been a winner his entire life.
Numbers don't lie.
That proves that numbers lie. Look at Jalen Brunson that took Dallas to the Western Conference Finals. When has RJ did that? When RJ did that? The last time I saw RJ, he was 1 for 12 in Game 6. Get out of here with that. When was RJ in Atlanta? Get out of here with that.
Hold on, AD. Hold on, AD. Go. I'm sorry. You're yelling.
In this one instance, you point out this one instance that Jalen Brunson did a thing. right? I'm not saying that Jalen Brunson is a bad player, right? I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is a bad player. What I'm saying is our love affair with a certain thing skews the facts. Like, numbers don't lie. Your age is your age. Your driver's license number is a driver's license number. Your social security number, guess what? It's your social security. Numbers don't lie. Emotions, though, make you cry sometimes. That's what we're doing right now because we love what we saw Jalen Brunson so much that we're willing to make up narratives about anything to support Jalen Brunson.
That's right. I saw that man drop 40 plus in game 6.
You saw him drop.
I saw that man drop 40 plus in game 6 with a bad ankle and a bad back and a bad rib cage and a bad shoulder and a bad everything. When the money was on the line, that man was here, baby.
Yeah. When did he do that though? In his 5th year? Was that he did that in his 5th year, right?
I don't care. He's been doing that.
Guess what? The number 5. The number 5 is a real number.
He's
been
doing that. He did that last year for Dallas.
Can I say something?
Real quick. I pass it right to you. So, Freezy, I think you're correct. The numbers don't lie, right? But you're only looking at the points, right? And what's not shown on the screen is the advanced numbers, the true shooting percentage, the effective field goal percentage. But look at the field goal percentage for a second in this diagram, right? First year, on 7 shots or almost 8 shots, he was shooting almost 47% from the field, and he got to 9 points. He took 1 shot less the following year, but his field goal percentage virtually stayed the same. So that is consistency, right? That RJ Barrett has not shown. The next year, he goes up to 9 shots a game, and his field goal percentage even got better. It even got better than that. So let's not isolate just the points only. Let's look at everything in totality. And there's no question. There is no question that Jalen Brunson over the first 4 years of his career was a better player than RJ Barrett. No question about it.
You are crazy.
No question about it.
You are crazy.
Based off of these numbers, if you look at the production of Brunson in 5 years, look at how good he was in his 5th year. I mean, Brunson. But if you look at RJ, he's in his 4th year. This is why I keep saying I'm giving him this year and next year, because if you could look at how good Brunson was to work through his inconsistency and then become what it was last season, I expect the same thing of RJ in his 5th year.
Please go to his playoff numbers, please. Thank you.
Hold on. Listen, what y'all are saying, right? What Uncle Fulio was saying in context is or statistically is right. Like, I agree with you, Uncle Fulio, about that. But again, what I'm saying to you is you're looking at Jalen Brunson and saying, hey man, this dude is better, but you're not looking at the fact that he was playing with the best player in the NBA. What if RJ Barrett was on the floor with Jokic? Would RJ Barrett's numbers look better?
That's why. No, and I don't disagree with you, but that's why I asked the question: is he better in an on-ball versus an off-ball role? Like for Jalen Brunson, if you look at these numbers real quick, right, you see growth, you see progression from year 1 all the way to year 5, despite who he's playing with or he's not playing with, right? For RJ, he's playing with Jalen Brunson now, who is still putting up great numbers, 24 points per game on almost 50% shooting from the field, and there is no growth there. So even though the players have gotten better over time with RJ, there is no growth. The numbers don't show growth, and that's what we go back to him as far as RJ. What do we see that role for him? And that's why I keep asking those questions. So I think that matters as well, Freezy, right? So what you said is completely right.
But you said it matters. You say it matters now, but you didn't mention it before.
What do you mean? What part? What do you mean?
Right, the part where Jalen Brunson got better over time. His numbers in context were really good, but he was playing with the best player in the league, and his roster was a playoff roster that was stacked.
I did mention it. Remember, you asked a question about Wayne Ellington and Alfred Payton. I addressed that. I said, well, RJ was playing with those people. He played a more on-ball role, and he was better. His numbers were better.
They're not even in the NBA no more.
Right. And that's what I keep going back to. So I did address that. I'm just saying now RJ Barrett's playing with a better team. He has a point guard now. Julius Randle, 2nd All-NBA season. So he's playing with better players over time, but his numbers are not showing growth. right? They're not Luka. Obviously, they're not Luka. No one can be Luka. Not many people can be Luka. Right. But that's what I go back to as far as growth. To your point,
in my ears, what it sounds like you're doing is comparing Jalen Brunson and Luka to RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. That's not what I'm doing at all. That's what it sounds like to my ears.
RJ and Alex Burke, RJ and Kemba. Gentlemen, stand down, sailor, stand down, soldier. Marines.
Salute, Wiz. Salute to you, my guy. Salute to you, man. Long time no speak.
My grandson, Josh, you do some good points, man. I'm loving this dialogue right now. First of all,
this is not the SS Minnow, Wiz. We don't.
As always,
we don't salute.
You the man, Wiz.
Yeah. Come on,
we don't salute here.
It's not a man, Wiz.
I'm just joking, fam. I'm just joking.
This is not a 3-hour tour, bro. Come on, bro.
Big up, Wiz.
Don't let me come to your house. I'll be there at 2 a.m., man. Right next to your bed. I'll tap you the shoulder and be like, time to wake up, sir.
So I have a question.
Great dialogue, but real quick, let me just pop in real quick, just drop a couple of things. The statement of numbers don't lie. Numbers can lie, but generally numbers do not lie. So I want to just address that it's how you work them. I do have some agreement that Jalen Brunson has been more consistent and perhaps more efficient. However, you cannot dismiss.
Wait, Wiz, did he come from a more stable organization? Did he come from a more stable organization before he got here?
Next to a generational talent, you can't dismiss what that does to a player's game.
That's what I'm trying to tell Uncle Fulio. I can't believe he don't.
Did he not come into the league that guy?
He's not playing with a generational. He's not playing with a generational player right now, and he had his best season.
Okay, exactly, exactly. Because Jalen Brunson has always been that guy.
There is growth in those first 4 years. Yeah,
but year 5. He hasn't done year 5. He said the first 4 years. He didn't.
You said the first 4 years. Thank you, Wiz. He said the first 4 years.
No, the question is, I had a dialogue with Smoke the other day about the same thing. I said, Smoke, September through January, Randall could arguably be considered better than Brunson. And that's why he made the All-Star team. Okay, he did. You know why? Yes, he made the All-Star team because September or October to January, he could be arguably considered better. Plus, the position also had less competition to a certain extent. I won't use that because he was deserving of the spot. However, February through March, Brunson was the better player, especially in March and April. We were in April too, right? And May. Yeah. Okay. Especially so.
The season.
Can someone gain someone over time? Absolutely. Do players' skills may diminish as they age? Who knows whether Randall's diminishing or not? No, he didn't. He maintained his
Wiz, you hear how we talking about? You see how we talking about Julius Randle right now?
I know.
So Uncle Fulio, you hear that? You had how the point where you made your statement, right? And I was like, Uncle Fulio, I'm trying to stay on this thing. I'm trying to stay on this thing to do justice to your thing. And now we're talking about Julius Randle in the second half.
Well, Freezy, to be fair, you're the one that brought up outside players as well. You the one that brought that up. So just to be fair, I'm not coming at you on OG.
Right.
But
let me say
I didn't.
That's called selective amnesia.
No, I didn't. I was not the first person to bring it up. As a matter of fact, you co-signed Anthony D's point. Bro, I'm good at this. I do this for a living, bro. I'm not a dummy. Bro, the person that brought this up was AD talking about how are you talking about RJ Barrett being on ball? Why are you taking the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands? That's the person that brought it up. I'm good at this, bro. I do this shit for a living, bro. Y'all not gonna fool me with the okie doke, bro.
But
I'm too smart for the okie doke, bro. Y'all not gonna. It's not 3-card Monty, bro. If you stop putting fake points on me. Be a man. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Right, you're right, OG. My bad. I'm sorry.
Let's go back to AD. Let's go back to Freezer though. When he began the dialogue with a brilliant question by my grandson Josh, brilliant question. The dialogue was taking a path in which we eliminated the basic functions, the common denominators, and then got to the more accurate point. So as you build, he was doing a foundation, and he started putting up the walls. and then he put on the roof, and he was going to get to the house being completed, and you just jumped straight to trying to build a house and its completion from the top. You're trying to build from the roof down.
Okay.
Why we were going from is he on ball and is he better on ball? Is he good on off ball? Is he better off ball? Does it vary during the game? Absolutely, because the game is fluid, right? So yes, but we could have built through establishing what do you think he's best at, and where should he be playing, and should he even be playing at all?
A baseline is what you're saying.
We're trying to establish the baseline, yes. and you were trying to jump to the 80 and dismiss the aspect of it starts with the baseline. So I wanted to throw in my 2 cents about RJ. RJ Barrett has moments, and sometimes extended moments, of demonstrating the possibility, because I think he's a very high floor. And actually, Josh and I had a dialogue about this once when he said, did RJ develop? And I go, RJ's development occurs when, because I think he's a very high floor with a very low ceiling, his development is a little bit slower than the average guys walking the NBA with high ceilings and moderate to low floors. And so he's not progressing at a pace that looks as it's going so slowly that it looks as if he's not really advancing well enough. And then unfortunately, someone with a low floor, when he drops below it once in a while, he looks like he regresses, and it even impacts more because at number 3 pick, 4th year, the expectation is so much higher from where he began. And he can't start at level 8 and go to 8 1/4, and people go, oh, man, he's really advancing. It doesn't appear like that, and that's why we dismiss some of RJ's skill set. However, I'm saying all that, I am RJ this year, not next year. This year was where I want to see RJ's progress. So am I done with RJ? Well, full disclosure, I was done with RJ at the draft, but I will decide to give him a chance because I'm not unlike you, AD. Sometimes you know that where you live, AD, because sometimes I see you driving down that. So there's a road right above where you live. It's, you never really take the high road. The high road, that's what I'm talking about. I take the high road, right? I take the high road.
What for? Why are we taking the high road?
I take the high road.
Here's the thing, Wiz. Here's the thing, Wiz.
To give a guy a chance.
No. Here's the thing, Wiz.
To give a guy a chance.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Wiz.
Okay,
we as Knicks fans and as we've seen where we've got a talented guy every couple of years, somehow, some way, we get a Bernard King, we get a Carmelo Anthony, we even get a Stephon Marbury. However you feel about the situation, you get a Brunson, Randall, and somehow, some way you flub it up. Somehow, some way we fall in love with ancillary pieces versus you're not gonna get there without Joker and Murray. You're not gonna get there without stable pieces. It's stable pieces that win championships.
We're on the same side right now, AD. We're on the same side. However,
not pieces that you can't count on from day to day. That doesn't do that for you. You wasted Melo's prime. You wasted Melo's prime like that.
But that's what I said. I'm done with RJ as of this season because he had Brunson next to him, and the progress was negligible, if not to regressing. And so I gave RJ because of the number 3 pick, and I'm giving those organizations a chance to demonstrate what they saw in him, why they picked him at number 3, not just because that don't be influenced by fans and media, etc. Why did you pick that man? And then I said, let's take the high road and stand aside to see him and give him a real chance to develop because he's still a young man. He was very young. You got to admit he is very young. Get him 2-3 years in the league, and now I want to see where he's at. Oh,
he's at 4.
I know.
He's at 4.
I gave him 3 years. I gave him 3 years, and after the 3rd year, I go 1 more year, and I'm done. And guess what? This was it. I'm actually done with RJ. So I agree with you. We can't waste Brunson's time anymore because taking another chance that RJ will progress next year impacts whether that Brunson will get a chance to demonstrate what he can do.
Well, the thing is, I think RJ Barrett can progress, but like AD keeps saying, are we willing to wait? Is that progression worth it? Is that progression, the amount of progression that he's going to have, if he does have a progression at all, is that worth not moving him for someone who is there right now, who's at the level where we need them to be right now? That's the other question, the overarching question. Where do we see RJ's progression, if there is going to be a progression at all? And is it worth holding on to that for the sake of, because he's our pick, he's the 3rd overall pick, that kind of thing, right? So I think there still could be progression. I don't want to take him. He's 22 years old, 23 now, right? So I don't want to limit him, but that's the question we have to start asking ourselves.
That's it. You know, I think as a different question, since we have a bowl of questions, since we're throwing questions in a bowl, I have a question to throw in there too. Can the Knicks effectively develop a young core and strive for a championship at the same time?
Yes,
I believe they can.
Yeah.
It just takes time and patience, y'all.
Right. It took Denver 8 seasons.
Exactly. How long has Jamal Murray been with Denver?
Okay, if you're gonna do that, trade Brunson.
Nah, you're not understanding.
Then they should have traded Brunson for a top 3 pick.
AD.
They should have traded Brunson for a top 3 pick because that's a young core. That's a true young core. Brunson is 26 years old.
He'll be 27 in September.
At some point, you trading, you're gonna actually make Brunson's potential even work.
No. So he's saying based on waiting to develop the young crew. That's why you trade him. He's not saying to trade him. Say trade him if you're going to try to develop these young guys.
Yeah.
And I think the better question, Freezer, though, is you're asking the question: can the Knicks do it, or can it be done? The answer,
I think we can do it. I just don't think we're in a position to do so because of Brunson and Randall. But Brunson and Randall is the closest thing we're going to have to a championship, for a while, because we don't have those young pieces that you can say are a part of a core. And that was the first thing I said. Our young players are good. Like, they're good role players to me, in my opinion. I like Quickley. To me, I think he's the best young player on the team, if you ask me. Right? So we have young players who are good. I just don't think we're able to do what you said, Freezy, like develop a young core to make them a young core to win championships. I don't think the Knicks are in that position right now. I think they can, but they're not in that specific position right now. You know what I mean? So do you want to wait, or do you want to use what we have with Brunson right now to win a championship? And me, I'm always going to elect to be closer to a championship. And
can I add something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
All right, so about the Barrett thing, to answer part of that question AD was asking, I think that, because you got to think about it this way too. Leon Rose didn't draft Barrett. Wasn't there a different manager that drafted him before Leon was the manager, right?
Right.
So there's different managers that Leon didn't draft Barrett. So he's still experimenting and, monitoring and trying to figure out what Barrett identity is. And that could take time too. So you gotta at least expect that to, take time for him to develop from Leon's eyes and what he's seeing on that team if he sees him on the Knicks for long term.
JJ, before they gave him the contract last year, they tried to trade him multiple times.
There we go. Exactly. So they saw.
You see what I'm saying? We forget these things. Before they gave him the contract, whatever happened between them and Utah, whatever happened, however you believe it, one side, whatever, I'm not here to argue that. They tried to trade him multiple times.
Let me throw something in there too. I don't trust the Knicks front office with trading for big players. Yeah, like if it was a draft, if it's draft pick stuff, I'm with you, AD, on that. Like the act of trading itself, I think they may understand how to do it, but when it comes to doing it in a relative sense, in an impactful sense, I don't think
got the trigger finger. They don't got the trigger finger.
Yeah, I don't think they.
Why not? It's because they're tentative. Is that the reason?
They don't got the trigger finger. If the moment I heard that they finally was thinking like how New York Knicks fans had already was thinking about George months ago. Months ago, we were talking about George as a possibility, right? The moment they started putting it out there that they were interested, I said, if this take past 2 days, it's a done deal. They're not getting this.
They're not going to do it. Yep.
They're not going to do it.
Yep.
2 days done. 2 days done came and went through times 3 already.
Right. How do you like your Bradley Beal trade?
Suns are in deep trouble next year with the CBA contract still.
Yeah,
they're not worried about that. They're not worried about that.
Exactly. By the way,
they can't afford everyone though.
That's a team that wants to win now with the moves that they're making, and we could be in the same situation if we just start trading people. I think this year we need to wait.
I mean, as long as you balance it out, you should be fine.
Uncle Freeze, I gotta ask a question. I'm sorry, my bad, Wiz. I gotta ask a question.
Let me just
go ahead, Wiz. Go ahead, Wiz.
That's information only. I was talking with someone who has been working at CAA for many years now, and who worked with Leon and his son and know them well. His theory, when we talked about this fact about Leon not pulling the trigger and not doing certain things, he said self-preservation. He wants to wait till the next contract before he makes any move that may cause him to be fired. He's trying to just buy the time. If he stays stable,
save himself.
Round, one more. If he goes second round next year, new contract. Then he may finally get bold.
You talking about Leon Rose? You talking about Leon Rose is trying to save himself? Okay, interesting.
Interesting. Okay, that's why I'm going to put it out there. Okay, go ahead, John.
Uncle Free. Well, I have a question. I mean, I'm not sure if I don't want to veer off too much. I don't want to, make a new subject or whatever. But I think I would like to add something in regards to who the Knicks should trade for and why I was a big proponent of Zach LaVine instead of Paul George. If that's possible, I don't want to, mess up the topics or anything, but I just want to give my input on that.
So, are you finished with RJ Barrett on ball, off ball? Because if so,
I think we had a good discussion. I think it's mixed. But personally,
were the questions you posed answered?
Yes, and I think a lot of people still don't know.
Okay,
that's what I got from all the answers that we got. I think a lot of people still don't know, and I don't know. I personally don't know. But can I just talk about the Zach LaVine thing and why I'm so high on him? Or why I wanted the Knicks to trade for him instead of Paul George and Cat and all these other people. So, first of all, and like I've talked about with RJ Barrett, the Knicks right now, the only two guard/wing players that they have that are able to effectively knock down shots off the dribble is Brunson and Quickley. Those are the only two guard/wings on the roster that are able to do that effectively. The Knicks need more players who can do that. It's not just shooting, right? Off-ball shooting. Yeah, we can use more players. You can never have enough shooters, but this team needs more ball handlers. Because one thing that we didn't have against Miami was a ball handler, especially
opening Pandora's box.
I'm giving nuance to with my question, my reasoning, right? So to me, a player like Zach LaVine and Paul George too, he's the same kind of player. They're able to knock down shots off the dribble. That's what makes them who they are, right? LaVine specifically, LaVine is under contract for another 3 years. After 3 years, George is under contract for 1 before we have to talk about extension talks for him with the new CBA. LaVine is cheaper than Paul George. Paul George is 33. LaVine fits Brunson and Randall's timeline. He's only 28, right? And he is everything that this team needs from an offensive perspective, the ability to knock down shots off the dribble, being another ball handler on the floor, and you have that in the starting lineup. So to me, I'm a fan of LaVine from a Cat perspective, from a basketball perspective. Everyone's concerned about the injuries. I think over the last 5 years, LaVine has averaged 65 games during the regular season, which in these day and age, that's good. That's good. Right. That's really good. So the injury concerns I don't have an issue with. So I like him over the Cat option because Cat, you're going to have to give a 35 or 30% max contract to, and the Knicks are going to be over that apron. George, same thing with him, and he's 33 years old, right? And to me, I don't think there's any other option right there that's better than LaVine for this roster as of right now because of age and all the other factors that I mentioned. I like George. I think from a basketball perspective, it fits, but there's so many other things, injury concerns. He doesn't play that much, right?
That will make us.
That's it. I'm done. No, that's it. That's it. I think I get the point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
May I ask you a question? One question go ahead. Go ahead.
All I was going to say was that makes us more ISO heavy. I agree with you. We do need more off-ball presence, but RJ does have that potential. So for me, period, if we get more players that are all off-ball, we're good. But what you're saying to me is what I'm understanding is you want more ISO heavy guys because they're more when Brunson isn't on the court and we need a guy to step up on ball, you say you want to give it to Levine and all these other guys. Yeah, they're proven, but at the same time, you are being critical to not developing RJ into that role.
No, okay, but that's the thing. So we are ISO heavy, and I'm not a fan of the ISO offense, but it is what it is. That's what we have, right? But there were times during the season where, again, like Uncle Freezy mentioned, at the end of games, teams would take the ball out of Julius Randle's hands and take the ball out of Brunson's hands. So you need another ball handler on the floor, and that's why Quickley was there. To me, I want to add that to the starting lineup. And right now, RJ Barrett, even last season, he has not shown growth in that area, even in times when we needed it at the end of games. He has not shown growth in that regard. And the ability to pull up off the dribble, right? We don't have nobody else in our lineup that can do that.
And like you said, in his second year, he had his best year on ball, correct? That's what I'm talking about. He has to develop his on and off ball game the way he's better. That's
right, but right now we have Brunson.
Hold on. You're gonna trade a potential candidate that we have already for someone who's proven who might not work as well with what we have. That's what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, RJ is a good on-ball presence.
So first of all, the assumption that adding Zach LaVine to an offense is going to make it more ISO heavy is presumptuous.
That's crazy, for real. That's really that's
presumptuous. Secondly, the Knicks are not ISO heavy. The NBA is ISO heavy, right?
Facts.
The Knicks run a read and react offense that develops into a high ball screen pick and roll, right? And when the option is not there, when you can't get a shot, then the Knicks ISO. I think there is a fake narrative that's actually a lie that the Knicks want to go down and just ISO every time down the floor.
Facts. I 100% disagree with that. The stats don't lie. The stats don't lie in that regard.
No. Okay, so if I'm lying, that means NBA.com is lying.
Yeah.
Okay,
because
NBA.com,
the league's website, shows offensive breakdowns of what teams run offensively. Yep. Right? No team runs ISO 100% of the time, or even 70% of the time.
Nowhere near.
That's ridiculous.
Nowhere near.
It's like saying an NFL team throws Hail Marys on every down. That's ridiculous.
That's not what it is at all. That's hyperbole. That's hyperbole.
No, it's not. No, that's not. No, that's not.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna let y'all go.
Let me go real quick. I think even all of you actually are stating something that may not be. Now, this is where numbers can lie. The statement is, are we ISO heavy? Not are we ISO only, right? We're not ISO only, we're ISO heavy, but the league is ISO heavy. However, my issue with us being ISO heavy or even 50% ISO is that we do not have the players, enough players who allow us to be ISO heavy. And therefore, if we had the players, then we should be playing like the league is. So if we had a Levine or a PG-13 and replace RJ, which I'm sorry, but I cannot give RJ any more chance because he has not improved his foul shots enough to show me that his shooting touches improved. He's not done a mid-range, and his three-pointer still is questionable for me. And therefore, RJ is the problem to not make us a true modern NBA team to be somewhat ISO heavy, not ISO dominant. And somewhat heavy, meaning 55, even 60% would be heavy to me. But 40% would be somewhat heavy to me as well, because I prefer a much more flowing offense with lots of passing, lots of movement, and reduction in, and lots of spot up shooting where open man is pass, boom, one shot, where RJ should be off ball if he had the skill set, which I don't think is developed enough. That's my take. Sorry.
Is it cool if I ask a question or something? Is that cool, Uncle Freezy?
What's good, boss?
So, I just want to hear y'all perspective on this question I'm about to ask. And this is just a question and generally from future-wise. Do you see yourselves, what do you think or believe? What's your intake on, like, for the Knicks' future? Do you see Tyronn Lue as an example being like a head coach for the Knicks future a few years later. Do you see Tyronn Lue coaching the Knicks? That's where my question's asking because, I mean, I've been thinking about it. I've been kind of like thinking, yeah, it could attract other people.
He's not CAA. And
So
that's he's not CAA, so I would say no.
So you're saying, Double J, that we have a new coach that the system could be different? I think so, but to be honest with you, Tyronn Lue is a small guy. He likes a lot of small players and quick and fast and in a hurry. And for me, I don't think Lue would fit here.
Is he still coaching the Clippers, or is he still in the market?
He is. Got 1 year left on his contract.
Oh, okay. I thought he was still in the market looking for a new job. My bad.
No,
I thought
he's been with the Clippers.
Oh, okay.
Hey, so just real quick, the Wiz. So while you said the thing about the ISO thing, guess what, boy? What you said is absolutely false about isolation. The Knicks ran isolation in their offense, according to NBA.com, 9.2% of the time.
Facts.
I was gonna say.
What ranking is that in the NBA though? Amongst the league?
No. In terms of ranking, that's not what Wiz was saying. The ranking thing is something separate.
I said that. Okay.
Yeah. In terms of ranking, that'll be, I can just sort it and count it. But the thing about it is when we mentioned the ISO thing, bro, I'm telling you, bro, teams don't run. A coach doesn't go into his pregame meeting and tell teams, just get the ball and do you on offense.
Yeah, it's not like we have.
That's not what I was saying. No, that's not what I was saying at all. What I was saying was the Knicks run a lot of isolation. They don't run isolation all the time. So you're correct. Yeah, they run it 9% of the time. What's the most common play in basketball in the NBA, right? The pick and roll, right? So I'm going to tell you what the pick and roll. I'm going to tell you what. Hold on.
Is that you just asked a question and then you cut us off. If your question is rhetorical, just say it's a rhetorical question.
It's rhetorical. It's rhetorical. So the last 3 years, Tom Thibodeau's a heavy isolation coach, right? And by heavy, I mean he does it more times than anybody else in the NBA for every team he's been on. But I'm staying with the Knicks, right? Last 3 years since he's been here, the Knicks are 4th in the league in isolation behind Dallas, Brooklyn, Boston is another team. The year before that, they were 8th in the league in isolation. The year before that, his first year, they were 4th. In pick and roll play, the Knicks were 25th in all 3 years in pick and roll frequency over the last since Tom Thibodeau has been here. So the Knicks run a lot of isolation. They run a ton of isolation. More than a lot of teams in the NBA.
But did you hear what Unc said, though? Our plays are set up to where we have a play in mind, and when the defense controls it, we fall into that ISO.
But that's not good. That's not good. That's not something to hang our hats on. Our offense has been horrible.
But my point was about the whole ISO thing was because of the fact is that's what I'm talking about. Defenses are just going to push us into that ISO heavy format. That's what I was saying. I wasn't saying we run ISO a lot, but with Levine and how the defense is able to already without Levine is able to just force us into it is going to be even more. That's all I was saying.
But that helps us, don't you think? But that helps us. You take the ball out. You take the ball. Real quick, AD. Real quick, and I'm done. You take the ball out of Brunson's hands. You take the ball out of Randall's hands, and you have another ball handler on the floor. Why do you think the Knicks at the end of games, when everything slows down and defenses do everything that you said, BT, at the end of games they slow things down, right? Why do you think Immanuel Quickley was on the floor to help us close games and not RJ Barrett? Because you need another ball handler out there on the floor for those situations. So having Zach LaVine or Paul George or any player like that wing that is an on-ball player that can knock down shots off the dribble is important for isolation teams, isolation-heavy teams. So it's not having him is not going to force us to do it more. It's something that can help us because that's the type of offense that we run.
I think you're right and wrong on that too.
Yeah, you're right and wrong on that, Josh.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Because the thing is if you think about it in context, is Quentin Grimes gonna be a secondary ball handler if Jalen Brunson gets trapped? No. But Immanuel Quickley can be that, right? Yes. So now do you take Grimes completely off the floor? Right, knowing that his defense late in games and his spot up 3-point shooting is valuable, or do you take RJ Barrett off the floor, but his defense is inconsistent and his 3-point shooting is inconsistent.
You take RJ.
You take RJ off the floor quickly.
And for that reason, you go with Brunson, Quickley, and Grimes.
Yes.
For that reason.
For that team last year, yeah. For that team last year, and that's what they did.
Right.
Right. So where was I wrong? I'm sorry. Where was I wrong?
No, so you're wrong in that RJ Barrett can't be a trusty secondary playmaker, and that's why they take him off the floor. They don't just take RJ Barrett off the floor just for that, because if Grimes could be that guy, then RJ Barrett may stay on the floor, but Grimes is not that guy. That's why when I said it initially, when I first started speaking, when Brunson gets trapped, can Grimes be a secondary playmaker? No, not trusted yet. Not in those situations.
Not trusted. Well, they were grooming him in the preseason. They were grooming him last year for that.
But in defense,
I'm very confused as to where I was wrong.
Can RJ be a secondary playmaker or tertiary playmaker? That's the question.
No, I wasn't asking that. I wasn't asking that question because I already gave an answer to that. The answer is no. But I don't understand where I was wrong in that regard. Like they take RJ off the floor because RJ Barrett can't do what I just said. Now the reason why they don't take Grimes off the floor is because one, he spaces the floor better, and his defense. He's a better defender than RJ. So if you had to pick between the two, both of them who are not really good at being that tertiary ball handler, it's going to be RJ.
Welcome to
Where was I wrong though? Where was I? I didn't say anything wrong.
You're right.
You might not be wrong. I'm just saying we disagree. Right.
Okay.
And secondly, welcome to our side because you morphed your answer to come to where me and AD was at.
I don't think I did. I think I was very clear, but I know I don't know where I was wrong in that.
You said Quickley instead of RJ, and then when we explained it, you said, "Yeah, I agree," but you didn't say that beforehand. When me and AD said it, then you said, "Hey guys, I want to be in y'all club. Y'all got T-shirts."
No,
I didn't say that.
Clarified his point as to why when it appears he didn't disagree with you guys at the start. I got you, son. Man, I got you, Josh. He didn't disagree with you guys. He just simply clarified.
You didn't say why is Quickley on the floor instead of RJ.
I told you that. I've been saying that the whole time I've been on the show. I've been saying that.
Okay.
He has.
Okay. All right.
You guys clarified why RJ could.
But you didn't talk about
stay on the floor.
The thing is,
why RJ could stay on the floor by saying Grimes had the ability, and RJ could stay, but because Grimes doesn't, is why RJ is the one that's chosen to be removed.
To be removed,
right.
But you didn't. That does not dismiss what Josh said. What you simply justified is why RJ could stay is because of Grimes had the skill set. But since he doesn't, RJ had to be the one to go.
But that's what I was talking about in regards to. That's what I was talking about in regards to Levine and Paul George or whoever it is, a guard or wing that can do that, right? Because come playoff time, that tight defense, that's going to be there all the time, right? So regular season, I think the Knicks can still be successful in the regular season. They probably win the same amount of games, if not a little bit more, whatever, with Paul George, Levine, whoever. Come playoff time, having that guy, that other ball handler on the floor all the time, or more times than not, is imperative for this team because they run a lot of isolation. And you see Miami doing the style of defense that they're doing, we're going to need another ball handler on the floor. And once we lost Quickley, I thought the series was over because we didn't have that other ball handler on the floor. Even though Quickley played like trash when he was out there, I still think Miami would have respected him better than, let's say, RJ Barrett.
Than Josh Hart. Because Josh Hart.
Or Josh Hart. Or Josh Hart. Or Josh Hart. Correct. So that's my reasoning, and that's why I wanted Levine over anybody else.
Wiz, can I point out this thing to Wiz? Wiz, you see the top 5 teams in the league in ISO, right? You see it like on the screen?
Yep.
Right? So when you look at that and we wonder why the Knicks do it 9% of the time, if you notice in the top 5, we're second in the top 5 behind Brooklyn. And Brooklyn at the time had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
So when things break down, when things break down, you go to your bucket, bro. If the Knicks can get a bucket late in the shot clock, why not go to it? What are we gonna do? Try to run something different? If we're a top 5 team at doing it, why not go to the things that we're good at? It's one of the things that when we hear ISO, Knicks fans, when we hear ISO, like when we hear certain words, like when we hear certain buzz terms, we can't just overly like jump out the window for certain stuff. It's like when we had Melo, and then Melo was ISO, and people were like, I hate to see Melo ISO. What's the alternative? Sergio Garcia and Ricky Lito? Sometimes you have to, sometimes late in the shot clock, you know, yo, let me, Wiz, you know who missed the most shots in NBA history?
Oh, jeez.
The player that missed the most shots in NBA history is Kobe Bryant.
LeBron.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe. Okay, LeBron.
Kobe Bryant missed the most shots in NBA history. Are you going to tell Kobe Bryant to stop shooting an ISO?
No.
No.
They won rings.
Right. So,
yeah.
But I'm not arguing that we should or shouldn't ISO. I'm arguing that it shouldn't be RJ involved in ISO, which means we got to take RJ off the floor.
Yeah,
but why would you do that if? Okay, that's your opinion. I'm not going to argue your opinion.
Another argument I want to make is that we should not be taking a risk to try and hope we find a free agent with the skill sets we need to fulfill that RJ role, because we know where the weakness is. We know a weak point. I don't want to either Mitch or RJ. I'm sorry, those are two weak points.
I believe Uncle Fulio had the answer. Uncle Fulio has the solution to it.
Go ahead.
To what Wiz is speaking to right now. Right? We don't want to try to find a free agent or a player or depend on RJ. Uncle Fulio had been saying for like 30 minutes prior to this that he believes Zach LaVine is that. Uncle Fulio, am I lying on you, Uncle Fulio? Did you not say Zach LaVine? You felt like Zach LaVine was the answer?
Yes, for that, yes. At this current moment in time, not just based on basketball, but the financials, the salary cap, and all of that.
Everything, right? He is the answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't deny. Donovan Mitchell, not available. Dame Lillard.
I love Donovan Mitchell, bro. He would be the best fit for the Knicks.
And I was a fan of Donovan Mitchell last year.
He would be the best fit, bro.
Me too. I think so too.
I thought Donovan Mitchell would have solved some of those issues that we would have had against the Heat. No problem. Now, people are always going to revert back to, well, we beat them in the first round. Well, we beat Cleveland. And we beat that team.
We beat that team. Yes.
Right.
Yep,
for Donovan Mitchell. Right. Correct. Right. And I think he would have been perfect in this type of lineup. But people will talk about the defense and all of that. And I get it. They're fair points. BT, you said something about RJ, and then you said, nah, you're not going to argue. I'm curious as to what you was going to say. I'm not trying to argue with you, but I'm just curious about that.
No. Because what I was going to say was you guys have made valid points. And with the whole RJ thing, for me, is why go out and get a free agent who's going to come here, learn a whole new system, and hope that they're going to be better than RJ? Yes, LaVine is proven to be better than RJ, but will it work here? I agree with y'all guys saying about Spider. Yeah, he would have helped us. But again, to that point, it's a team game. So for me, I'd rather just stick with RJ because I think he can have what we need. It's just that he hasn't seen it yet. Like, he doesn't believe in himself. Well, that's why I said I'm not going to argue your point. Because to me, RJ is that guy. He has the potential because he can shoot great. He's good off the ball. But the problem is they're not using him a lot because, like y'all said earlier, they'll take him off the court, put Grimes or IQ in there, rather than letting him work out his issues through the regular season and find his strength.
Did you say he can shoot great? Did you say he can shoot great?
No, I didn't say that. I said, like, when he has the potential to be off ball, if he develops his off ball, he'll be good. That's what I'm saying.
And that's the part that's what even like right now about the free agent issue. Here's my potential thing. There's a potential opportunity to get a free agent, whether it's LaVine or PG-13 or Giannis. Or this is about potential. You know what was not a potential? If we had kept or bought into the draft and picked a shooter, 6'7" plus, 3-and-D type, they were not potential that we could have gotten that. It was guaranteed we could have gotten that. Instead we said, people are saying that the front office has got a strategy that they may potentially fine a 3-and-D, a PG-13 deal or Levine deal or something. And that's the part that I have a problem with, why we went 2 years in a row and not pick guys who we knew had the skill set and could potentially become the players, rather than stay here without anybody and potentially may find the guy. So that's my pet peeve.
This
right
is just
Hey,
another case.
Unc, I gotta go. I gotta
go.
go. I just want to sign off real quick. I really appreciate y'all. I gotta go.
Yeah,
it's
very,
very early.
Thank you for coming on, man. Have a good night.
Thank y'all, man.
5:00 in the morning.
All right, y'all.
Appreciate it, OG. OG, I'll text you. I'll text
good
you,
talk,
OG.
brother. Good talk, brother.
Yes.
And
man.
yeah.
Let me
So good to y'all, Knicks fans. Talk later, y'all. I'm gonna have to go to sleep, y'all. Have a good night, brothers.
All right,
Have a good night.
All right, salute y'all. Thank you for having me, y'all. Appreciate you.
No doubt. So what I want to get at is we say this thing about RJ. I'm gonna let you guys guess whose numbers these are on the screen. After 4 seasons, right? Look at the 4th season here. This player in his 4th season averaged 16.7 points a game. After his 4th season.
Wow.
Right? He was the same age as RJ. Like, look at these numbers and stuff in context, right? Right. Look at these numbers. Right.
Right.
And to say that RJ Barrett is a lost cause right now, I think is probably us, overreacting, because New Yorkers are known for having an immense amount of patience.
Or
maybe not.
I'm not saying it's a lost cause, but what I do see about these numbers is that this person was shooting 46% from the field in his 3rd year, 38.7% from 3-point in his 3rd year, and 83.6% from free throws in his 3rd year. So if I saw those numbers, no matter what the actual points output was, I would rather that person.
What about his 4th year? You gonna read the next line too?
No, I don't want to read it.
You're gonna read the 4th. Read the next line. Read the next line. Read the next line.
Okay, let's look at I'll read the next line. The games played was 24. That's
but he did play though, right?
I understand. Well, he probably played. He probably was injured, and he probably was upset with the coach. He was probably very upset with the coach.
I'm just gonna take those down.
Who was his coach, by the way?
I'm just gonna take those down and say this, right? In that 4th year, it was Fred Hoiberg. But anyway, my point to it is the kids are talented.
Yes.
Right. But assuming that they will be as good as guys that are in their 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th year in the league is not fair.
Facts.
Every player is not going to burst onto the scene like Anthony Davis. Every young player is not going to burst onto the scene like we anticipate Victor Wembanyama. Some players take time. That's why when we have these arguments about who is such and such here and who is such and such there, it's not really fair. You gotta have context, right? That's like saying RJ Barrett is here because such and such. Well, if RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley, and Quentin Grimes had this team to themselves and had carte blanche from day one, like LaMelo did, like Anthony Edwards and them, like SGA and all these players, then of course the players be ahead of schedule, but they're not.
True.
RJ Barrett was not given the keys from day one.
True.
Quickley was not given the keys from day one. Grimes was not given the keys from day one. Right? Even though they played a bunch of minutes, they were not given the keys since day one. We got to relax, bro. They're coming along slowly.
But is their pace in satisfactory based on who is currently leading the team? Are we willing to give that next 2 or 3 years for them to come along? And by the way, you didn't include Deuce in there. Deuce doesn't even know that they're keys. He doesn't know that they exist. By the way, just want to throw it in there. My boy Deuce doesn't even know there are the keys around. He's like, what keys? But yes, I agree with you. But my issue is is he on the verge? Is he potentially going to do it in the next year or two? And should Brunson wait for that? Or should we supply Brunson with what he needs right now and see what he can do?
But we don't know really what Brunson needs because it's only been one season.
It's only Wiz. This is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said from jump. You got to give him at least another year or two with RJ. I'm telling you, give them time to develop.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you trade away RJ Barrett, he goes somewhere else and develops. Now we're all going to be sitting here. Oh, we should have kept RJ.
We should let's trade for RJ Barrett.
Exactly.
So
and
Wiz,
then it's like
Wiz,
the back and forth.
Wiz, how good is Jalen Brunson right now? Like what is Jalen Brunson's upside, and has he reached it?
I don't think he's reached it. I think his upside is a mix. I think he's going to be just below CP3. He's going to be just below CP3. That's his upside.
Talking about this year's CP3?
No. Oh wow.
No, I'm asking. I'm
talking
for
about
clarity.
CP3. I'm talking about he's going to be like one notch below CP3 in his prime. I think he has that kind of, because the IQ is off the charts. It's I think it's CP3 IQ like almost. Actually, I can't say that. I can't get that to him because CP3 is a genius beyond genius.
So let me tell you. I'll tell you what I think he's going to be. Right. So I think Jalen Brunson going forward is going to have an Allen Iverson type impact on the Knicks.
Okay.
Right. And just hear me out on it before y'all cut me off. Listen to why I say that. If you look at a diminutive guard that is a scoring machine that has issues with defense, but is a leader that galvanizes men, I think you can have the Allen Iverson, Jalen Brunson conversation. Now, is he going to hijack your offense like Allen Iverson? No. That's why I didn't say he's going to be Allen Iverson or have Allen Iverson's scoring output. I merely said Allen Iverson type impact. A diminutive guard on a defensive-minded team, issues with defense, probably be banged up, and these type of things, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm going to say to you is Allen Iverson at his best was a scoring machine. If we embrace the fact that Jalen Brunson is not a playmaker, but just a scoring machine, I think we get the best out of Jalen Brunson. Now, does he do it like Allen Iverson? No. Nobody does it like Allen Iverson. But can you get a 6-foot guard to score you about 28 points a game on decent efficiency and be dependable? Then guess what? That's an Allen Iverson type impact. Because with AI, you have to put, and no disrespect to people that like Grimes, but look at the Eric Snows and the George Lynches and those guys that played with AI. They were defenders that could knock down open shots. They did not have a secondary playmaker. That's why their offense struggled, right? But when you get a playmaker to go with him, not to take away from Jalen Brunson, but to let him have the AI type impact, and then bring in a Sean Livingston type player to play along with him, a big guard that can defend and blah, 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 then I think we're there.
And all I was going to say was development also comes with experience on the court. If you allow people to develop on the court, they're good. But you keep switching. If they keep switching Grimes and IQ and this guy and that guy, he's not going to develop correctly because experience is what makes you the best. Look at how every player we're comparing them to. Guys who's been in the league more than 5 or 6 years or 7, like, you know what I'm saying? For me, development comes on the court playing through your inconsistencies to develop. That's how you develop.
Well, Frizzly, I think on that take on Iverson, short of the athleticism, I mean, short of the ability to this speed and
I'm not saying he's going to do it. I'm not saying he's going to look like Allen Iverson, bro.
Right, exactly. Short of that, I can't I can't argue with that possibility.
Well, you can't argue with you remember Calvin Murphy from the Houston Rockets?
Oh yeah,
the same type of guy, short guy, stout guy, scoring machine, defensive issues, put on a team with a whole bunch of defenders and playmakers, and he's the focal point. If like for people that can't get it, it's just like this is not new. A little guy that can score and has defensive liability. Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
Anybody remember the second Isaiah Thomas?
The one in Boston.
Yeah, the Isaiah Thomas from Boston. Yep. Anybody remember that short guy? You have to build the team around him because of his defensive liabilities. Anybody remember Damon Stoudemire?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And listen, I understand that in order to, we hold some people in such reverence that we're like, yo, there'll never be another Michael Jordan until you see a Kobe Bryant, and then you're like, there'll never be another Kobe, right? Like there'll never be another Wilt Chamberlain until you see Shaq.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. It's these things. Nobody, there'll never be another David Thompson until you see Michael Jordan. Right? It's one of these things. I'm not saying that Jalen Brunson's crossover is going to be Allen Iverson. He gonna be wearing thug clothes to the game. He gonna have a necklace all the way down to a zipper. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is gonna be rocking cornrows. What I'm saying is Allen Iverson's game, right? Or Allen Iverson's production. I think Jalen Brunson can match that type of production. Can you imagine Jalen Brunson with more shots?
So you're saying Iverson without the inconsistencies?
No, I'm saying Iverson without the swag.
Okay. All right. That's his. Okay. That sounds good because he's really good with the ball, and I see your point with that. But is that enough for us to win?
If Grimes, I think, and I'm gonna, by the way, I'm gonna throw this take out. I don't think it's RJ that gotta make a next step. I think if Grimes makes the next step, that's where we make the next step.
Yep. Okay.
Not RJ. Not to dismiss RJ. And again, I'm not trying to trade RJ. I'm just saying if I had the opportunity for a good deal to get Levine or PT13 in that spot instead of RJ, there's no way I'm not going to take that opportunity.
It was, and I'm here to tell you that all three have taken that next step. Right? Look at Grimes' three-point shooting since the All-Star break. It's 41%.
Right. Yes.
Look at RJ Barrett's numbers and such throughout the season. RJ Barrett is, you have a BT, it's like when you go to the circus. You know how you go to the circus and the guy is juggling chainsaws or whatever it is, or juggling the flaming knobs? That's RJ Barrett right now, because he gets good at one thing and the other thing suffers. And then he gets great at another thing to compensate for it, and something else suffers. It's like the fitted sheet theory. Like you get on one side and you tug the fitted sheet a little bit, the other side pop off.
Yeah.
Right? Once RJ Barrett learns how to put the fitted sheet on the bed, bro, RJ Barrett is going to be a solid player in the mode of a Caron Butler.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you expected me to say LeBron James, that don't have nothing to do. That don't have nothing to do with Uncle Freezy. That's you. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that RJ Barrett can be LeBron James. RJ Barrett, once RJ Barrett puts it all together, he'll be like a Caron Butler.
I agree with that. But then again, like I said, that's everyone has this bias of, hey, we need to win now. This guy's good now. You got to give time for guys to develop. And I really agree with you with how you look at RJ's potential.
Right.
Go ahead.
Did y'all see Immanuel Quickley's numbers as a starter?
No, I'm interested. I don't remember. There's a lot of
22.6 points a game, 41% from three, 46.8% from the floor as a starter, and at one point it was elite defense. I don't know if it was elite defense for the year, but I saw a thing probably as far back as February where Immanuel Quickley was the best on-ball defender in the NBA. Just a few percentage points against Grayson Allen. But then something happened after that, and I think he fell out of the top 10, and then I stopped looking. Right. So I mean, I don't know what happened there, but you know, my thing is, I think these guys have taken the next step. We just gotta relax. The only thing is, like Anthony D said, you gotta take advantage of Jalen Brunson's prime, but you also have to take advantage of Julius Randle's prime also.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because Julius Randle is a 2-time All-Star. Julius Randle is a good player, right? The thing is about Julius Randle is you got to keep him focused and healthy throughout the year. Because we all know once Julius Randle make the All-Star team, his numbers dip.
Yeah.
Right? Julius Randle past the All-Star break, his numbers dip, bro. That's what he is. It's like he plays great to make the All-Star team, and then after that, you see his rebounds go down. You see him go from 12.5 rebounds a game to 10. Right, you see all his numbers go down, his 3%, all this stuff is focus. Right now, if Randle just wants to be an All-Star, hey man, I can't blame him because for the first half of the season, you get a first half performance.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you just got to compensate what happens after that.
Is there a salary incentive for Randle to make the All-Star team? Is there extra million or half a million something like that?
I think they get like they do.
Oh man, but my belief is, so you said RJ. You said the 3 areas. What are they? Defense, shooting. What's the third one with RJ?
Let me tell you. Okay, Wiz, I'm gonna keep it absolutely. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Mm-hmm. The reason why RJ Barrett's offensive game is whack is because he don't pass.
Yes,
that's as simple as it gets. The reason why RJ Barrett's shot field goal percentage is low is because he gets blocked at the rim a lot, and he doesn't make the right basketball play. He doesn't pass. If RJ Barrett is able to get his assists per game up into that 4.5 range, I think RJ Barrett can average 22 a game on about 49% from the floor. Right? And this is in any offense. But when teams know when you put your head down and go to the rim that you're not going to pass, they just leave dudes wide open and come and block your shot.
Yep.
But also, or pull up as well. Either of those two options, the pass or the mid-range.
But if you work on your passing and you're cutting to the basket and they see that you're cutting, they're going to be more lenient to give you that spacing and give you the room you need to get the shot off. So for me, if he could pass, just like I've been saying with Randle, when Randle was playing against Cleveland, he was making great passes the first half before he got hurt. Look at how much better his shots developed throughout the game in that first half.
Right.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, the other thing, too, is when the Knicks run pistol actions, there's no backside cutters. We don't have elite athletes that can cut on backside actions. So when RJ Barrett dribbles to that area, to that pull-up area that you're talking about, Wiz, the big is there because we have nobody at the rim that's threatening. You know what I'm saying? That's threatening the rim. Who you think, Mitch? You think Mitchell Robinson's going to catch a pass and cross somebody up and go to the rim?
That's Stonehands.
No. Right. The only thing is he's just going to, if the lob ain't there, then there's nothing. And, so and then just real quick, then in that pistol action where RJ Barrett gets to that free throw line when a man comes up, now you're expecting RJ Barrett to pass, which he won't, and Mitch to catch a pass and do a dribble move, which he won't. BT, you get what I'm saying?
I get you. I hear you. That's why I'm not interrupting. I'm agreeing with you. You've been on point for a while.
Yeah. RJ's thing is he won't pass the basketball, and when he does, we celebrate, we party like it's 1999.
And it's a simple basketball play.
Yeah, when he should, we celebrate that one time he did it in a week stretch, right? Instead of celebrating the fact that he is doing this 7 to 8 times a game.
Exactly.
Now the challenge I have, of course, with that, which those for answer to is it's 4 years of doing the same move. Actually, longer because he did it in college also and probably high school. But the challenge is, at what point do you think he will actually get it when it's been told? Probably he's seen on film. I think RJ watches film.
Yeah.
Unlike somebody else who didn't start watching film till recently. RJ watches film and he should see that should be the move.
He sees it. He sees it.
And then the next thing is, let's say he does fix that, which will be awesome. You're saying there's still a third leg where he'll start doing that, and his offense will pick up?
But you're asking me if I should put a zebra in the Kentucky Derby? No.
Exactly. Okay.
No, because a zebra's not going to change his stripe. A zebra is not a horse, bro. They're in the same family. They kind of look alike a little bit, but no, they're not the same. RJ Barrett is not going to pass. This is the same thing that we've been saying for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think somebody is going to start changing after like 5 years, no.
Wow. Or the pull-up shot, something. But then his defense
the pull-up is not going to be there because the big is going to come out knowing RJ's not going to pass. He's only going to shoot.
Right.
And then if divine intervention happens and RJ bounce passes to Mitchell Robinson outside of the dunker spot, what's Mitch going to do with it?
Oh, man.
Dribble back out to the perimeter for a dribble handoff.
Yeah, so I'm putting
then they're gonna rotate, and then they're gonna rotate the ball back around to Randall on the weak side with 6 seconds left on the shot clock, and Randall's gonna ISO, and then Wiz is gonna get on the internet and complain about it.
Did you see Mitch last week with the ball between his legs 2 times? And come on, man.
Yeah.
Everybody got highlight films, man. Even Ben Simmons looks good in his highlight reels with his off.
Wiz, you should have saw me on a squat rack the other day, bro. I filmed it. You should have saw me on a squat rack. Man, listen. I have arthritic knees, right? So I wear these sleeves on my knees and all that. You see how carried away I got with workouts? Just off that. Yeah. No doubt.
Because
hey, y'all. Okay, Wes.
I was just going to talk about. So that's why I'm saying I'm dependent on not that zebra, but on Grimes to simply get that rhythm of his defense will always stay strong because even when his offense is going, his defense is strong. So he's figured that out. So he's got to get to the next level of having them both click consistently, where the offense simply need to come in more. But it's not that the offense got to come in, like you said. It's there. He's just got to get more touches, more opportunities, more usage. And that could be the key.
That? I'm sorry. Who's that?
Grimes, Quentin.
Okay.
More usage for Grimes. Let's take away a little bit from RJ, bring it to Grimes, and we may see another step up for the team overall. Okay. Since the zebra won't change the stripes, and the zebra's not
RJ's not gonna. And I'm talking about in terms of mentality. I'm not talking about in terms of basketball ability.
Right.
I'm just talking about the way that we think about stuff. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just talking. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that RJ Barrett's not going to get better as a basketball player. Ultimately, I think he is, and I've been saying it. Right. But I don't think his mentality. That's like telling Kobe, you need to lead the league in assists.
Again, you find that
yeah, Kobe ain't. I saw Kobe shoot over a triple team against the Raptors.
Michael changed.
Yeah,
Michael did change his game, right?
Yeah, he did. He did after he lost athleticism. Remember? He didn't have the 48-inch vertical. And he wasn't like the 4.340 guy. He was like the 4.40 guy and the 44-inch vertical. He changed his game. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, man. So ultimately, man, I'm saying the kids are going to be good. If left alone, they'll develop. Okay, right. But if we're saying that we have multiple things going on, we got to win a championship. We got to take advantage of Brunson's prime. We got to get Randall to play better while he's a Knick, because who knows how long he's going to be a Knick, right? We got to bring these kids along, right? and we got to trade for a star. So when you got all these issues going on, you're like, yo, you know, these kids got to hurry up because we have all these other issues.
Yeah,
because ultimately, I'm sorry.
Now, I was just going to say it's more important to get those two guys because we don't know the guaranteed time with Brunson and Randall. So we got to get it done ASAP. That's what everyone's more concerned about. They're not really concerned about developing the team itself to make us better for a championship contender because at the end of the day, unlike the Suns, we don't have the team talent to where we could start out 5 or 6 to get in the playoffs, and even they fell short. So we need that development and growth from the youth. All three have to work together is what I'm saying.
What I want to say is I'm looking forward to next season when, for the first time in NBA history, in a live game, a brother lobs the ball to his other brother for alley-oop dunk.
Them.
Top in.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you was talking about. I thought you. Yeah.
Wow, you snuck in that top in, didn't you?
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna wrap up, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me, man. This was fun.
Yes,
this was fun. Thank y'all, man. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all later.